for his for his project with his class. And he says it's a whole, they have orphanages, bathrooms, dorms. And that's where most of the orphans come from.
I'd like to hook her up down there, but that is not a safe country.
Oh, hell.
That is not a safe country. And she looks like those people. I might not get her back.
Well, she was born there, right?
Yeah.
Does she look dark?
Yeah, her mom was a Mayan Indian. And my daughter's like 5, she's 5'3".
Is she pretty? Dark and pretty and big eyes?
I'll show you a picture. She's Asianized.
Well, that's a stupid
People used to ask us if we adopted her from
who's
Vietnam.
Going to say no? It's a stupid question.
No, when she's little, they go, "Oh, is she from Vietnam?" No. No, look at her nose. She's not Mexican. She's Hispanic. Look at her nose. Don't look at the eyes.
You have how many kids?
I have 4.
Holy moly!
No, 3 sons, and then I always swore when I got out of law school I was going to adopt me a daughter.
And here's what's funny: whenever somebody says, whenever somebody adopts, they say, "What? You couldn't have kids of your own?" This isn't true, but
no, I wanted a girl.
Isn't that a stupid question? Is this her?
Yeah, she's very pretty.
Yes, she is.
She looks like somebody, you have bars that start with a mouse with a right click,
But it's for mine. She's 15.
How do I right click on using this here?
She's like 5'3".
I've always used the mouse. How do
you what?
Right click because I need a copy embedded picture and stuff.
Yeah, I know.
What's her name?
Olivia.
Did she get along with her brothers?
They adore her.
And how old was she?
How do I, you know how, I mean, you right click right here.
19 months.
Is that what it is?
Oh,
Okay.
she's a baby.
Yeah. She's
And then you
way
right
younger
click
than her
and
brothers.
Okay.
I have one son who's
Let me see a picture of her, Bonnie.
34. Hold on, can I get her little homecoming picture? She's a little too curvy for my taste.
Oh, is she? She's starting to fill out.
Like,
My daughter is real thin.
Yeah, but she's young, man.
Yeah, she's a baby.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. I like bragging about the show because really you're the one that makes it a success because you send people to me all the time to get help. You send people to get information. It's very cool. I love when I hear the district attorney's office told me to call, or somebody will say, the guy told me to call at the license bureau, or some guy told me to call. I hear this all the time, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Why? Because it is our joy to help. That's what we do, and that's what we've done for 39 years, okay, in Denver and longer elsewhere. So welcome. All you have to do to take part of this show is call and ask a question. It's that easy. Or you want us to intercede? If you bought a lemon, a car that's not good, or you bought something else, or you might have a dispute with a company, a large corporation, or a legal battle. We're going to talk about one such legal battle that a guy contacted us about, and we took it on and did a Facebook post along with a story at Troubleshooter.com. We also did a GoFundMe site to get legal expenses. Here's what you do. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Has someone lied to you, cheated you, ripped you off? Let me give you an example. Lately, we're getting a lot of calls from people, not my audience, they know better, who paid money up front and got nothing in return. Now, people say, Tom, do you believe in never paying money up front? Nope, never said that. But here's what I think. You pay by credit card. If you want to pay money up front, pay by credit card. It's a safety. And yes, I believe in credit cards for certain reasons. Credit cards keep track of expenses. Credit cards you can rescind. But don't overdo credit, of course, just like you can use medications for good and for bad. Now, Bonnie Shields is with us, attorney at law. Bonnie is going to help us with a very special case. But if you have any questions on domestic law, divorce, separation, custody, what else falls under there? Child support, what they call alimony, which is maintenance, give us a call, 303-713-TALK. She knows a lot about this area of law. I want to start out because I had an email, and they said this. This was what it said. Well, so-and-so is leaving her husband, and I know she's going to get half, but in addition to that, blah, 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 blah. So, Bonnie, they automatically assumed such and such, they're leaving their husband, and I know they're going to get half. Where does this idea of half come in?
There is no rule, 50% rule. What it is the court is supposed to divide things equitably and fairly. So often that is 50%, but definitely it is not a rule. It is not always the case.
When would it not be? Can you think of an example when it wouldn't be?
Sure. Maybe one person maybe doesn't have as much income. Maybe they're disabled. The other person has a large income. There might be maintenance in that case, but also the person who's disabled may get a little bit larger share of the assets just because they're not going to be able to build up a retirement plan themselves or something like that. Or if somebody's taking on more debt, the court might give them more in assets to compensate for it.
Okay, let's go to the phones. 303-713-TALK. You can get right through. If you have a problem we can help with, let us know. Anthony, what's happening?
Hey, Tom.
What's going on?
Oh, life is rough, brother.
What's going on with you, man?
So, this summer I was camping in the forest, because I didn't have anywhere to live.
Well, hold on.
And
Whenever, I'm very interested in something. When people tell me they're homeless, I'd like to know the genesis, because I don't believe people wake up one day and
How
they're
did
homeless.
it happen?
Well, yeah, just can you give me a brief summary? What went wrong in your life?
Sure. I was staying in a place, and,
You married?
the lease was ending. No
Okay.
wife, no kids. Thank
Okay,
goodness.
how old are you?
45.
Okay, so you're staying in a place, and the lease was ending.
Well, the thing is, before I was here, I was in a tent in the woods. Because that's the only place you can camp, and the cops won't harass
Yeah, but
you.
first,
got to move your tent.
but
every 10
Anthony,
days.
you have a job, I assume.
I do, kind of.
Okay, but when you had this lease,
He doesn't pay me at all.
when you had this lease, were you
Right.
paying your rent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the lease expired, and I had a place I was going to move in,
And then what happened?
and that fell through.
Okay, so you had literally nowhere to go.
Exactly.
But you had
So
money,
I
right?
had my tent. I did. I had about $1,500 in the bank.
And where did that go?
It wasn't quite enough to get last deposit. So I ended up in the woods. This buddy of mine that I worked with.
You literally
okay,
went to the
you know,
woods and camped.
Yes, sir, for 2 months. I
Okay.
saw the eclipse and everything.
Then what?
I had a job. I was hiking from my campsite to a community center in Harris Park.
And working there?
And hitchhiking out of there to 285 to this cafe over there by 285. And I was working there. 30. I was making $450 a week. So I'm doing okay.
And then what?
I was only out of work for a week. Well, I'm catching a ride back to the community center so I can hike to my campsite. And the guy's like, "Hey, I got an Airstream, and come work for me. I'll give you $20 an hour, this
All right.
and that."
And you're not
I bought it.
You're not getting paid?
I bought it. Not at all.
How long did you work for this guy? What are you doing for the guy?
I'm still here because what am I going to do? I've got to stay.
So he lets you stay
indoors
there,
at least.
and you work, and you stay there while you're working.
Right.
Okay, well,
Right.
you're getting something.
I've got job offers from other people.
Anthony,
I am getting something.
Anthony.
How can we help you, Anthony?
Yeah. Right now you're in a trailer, right?
Right.
And you're working for the guy. What do you do for the guy?
Gutters. And
Okay.
I hate ladders.
No. So you're cleaning.
I'm like a story and a half.
Are you cleaning gutters or are you installing?
We're cleaning. We're making them. We're installing them.
All right.
We're repairing them.
Well,
everything.
good. You have some skills. Now hold on, Anthony.
Yeah.
Do you
and
have
I
a
do
car?
good job for the customer.
Do you have a
I
car?
do not. And nope, I don't have a vehicle. I don't have a license. And there's
Wait,
a hook.
you have no
Nobody
driver.
shot me.
You have no driver's license?
Did you say there's a hook?
No, sir.
Why don't
No,
you have a
that's the
driver's
hook.
license? We got a lot of questions. Why don't you have a driver's license?
I drove without insurance.
So
and
you
they
have
took my
no.
license in my vehicle, Jefferson County.
You drove without insurance,
Yep, no DUI,
and they
no
took
accident, no
and,
anything.
and they took your license.
Yes, sir.
You should have changed your name. You would have. You would have. You would have been
I'm
able
not
to do
that
it.
Shady.
Jose Jimenez, you would have been able to drive without insurance. They wouldn't have done anything.
My name is Manuel.
And I don't care what anyone says, but that's I literally have come up against that, where I said that person doesn't have insurance. You know what the cop said? Well, we can't track him down. If I give him a ticket, he'll just disappear. But this guy, Anthony, he loses his license. Tell me that doesn't piss you off. Okay, listen, Anthony.
Sir.
So you're in a tough spot. Even if you get a job, you don't have transportation.
And if I do get another job, it's going to be a matter of hours or days before he's a drinker. He's a really angry guy.
Anthony, you did not
come home.
I hold on.
He'll come home and just boot me out in the woods, and I can't have that. It's cold. I mean,
okay, let me think about this. Anthony's homeless. He's working his tail off. It's not like he's lazy. He doesn't have a license due to no insurance. What do you have to do to get your license back?
$95 reinstatement fee. I've got my motorcycle, so I can insure that to cover the insurance. And that's like $150 a year.
You do have, okay. You need to do some math, Anthony, and tell me what you're going to do with money. Hold on. I want to talk to Anthony. I'm not saying I'm just going to give him a handout, but Mark, we talk about helping people who are helping themselves. Maybe Anthony's a candidate, maybe not.
I think he's off the cliff already, man.
You do? Okay, we'll see. I do. Dan, now this case. Oh, Dan, I want you to hold on and talk about this case with Bonnie Shields, the attorney who we want to take this case, okay?
All right.
Now, Dan wants to adopt his stepdaughter he's had since she was 3 years old. And, Dan, you and the family are united in this. You're her biological mother, and the daughter, right?
Correct.
She calls you daddy?
Absolutely.
And you think of her as your daughter?
Absolutely, 100%.
But there's something in the way, and that is a child pornographer, a child molester, and a child exploiter who is in prison for 27 years. He says, I'm the biological dad. You're not going to get my daughter. We'll talk about that coming up.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
No delays on the highway drive in the metro area, just one exception.
You don't get a free attorney when you're in jail, or do you? Or
On
prison?
a civil case, well, I don't know anything about the prison thing, but normally not on civil cases. It's not like a criminal case.
That's what, exactly.
When the family law court terminates your rights, it's not a criminal thing. It is civil. And you get a free. There's no such thing. And no one's going to want to give him pro bono services. This is in the winter.
Yeah, pretty good.
Oh, okay.
I'll get this bill
Get
out.
my email back?
Hey, it's with an I.
Brutus. Brutus, why do you got your winter cone galoshes on?
Freaking cold as hell.
Reason.
My mother used to call them galoshes. What the hell are galoshes?
Bring my beer?
Galoshes are shoes, aren't they?
Did you bring it? No, why not?
What was he supposed to bring you?
We made a bet.
Oh, it's on.
Mark, don't you?
You've been on the Broncos?
Not last night.
Not last night of the season.
7-9.
I said they wouldn't win more than 7 games.
And they're not
They
going
won't.
to. It's impossible.
Well, no, but it's highly unlikely. So
He must have watched a different game last night.
it'll be awesome. So I'll drink my beer with my free lunch to Marco's. It'll be beautiful.
Tom, you've got no fencing.
Well, I took one of the lunches Tom owes me.
Yeah.
So Tom now owes you a lunch.
You guys will learn to stop betting me on
Dennis
sports
will do
sooner.
that?
One of these days.
You don't think
Thank
that's
you.
convenient?
They can get 7. Look at the rest of the people now.
Are you kidding? The next 5 teams they play are like the fucking hardest teams in the league right now.
An artist and a guy that'll give you rock bottom prices.
Look at who's coming up. It's going to blow you away.
I know. It's like Pittsburgh.
It's the Eagles. It's Brady. It's everybody that's going to trump up.
They're going to get a new quarterback.
What do you want to bet? How many lunches?
What they're winning quarterback.
Yeah, here's what we'll do.
Brock Osweild.
Listen, every game they lose, you'll be 2 lunches. Listen, though, it gets better. Any game they win, I'll give you 3 lunches.
4 lunches.
If they don't go to the playoffs, I get 10 lunches. If they do go to the playoffs, you get 2 additional lunches.
2 additional versus 10?
He just makes this shit up.
I know. What did you train here, Tom?
Yeah, he just makes it up as he goes along, and he believes every bit of it.
Find out how to pay off your home faster, save over $100,000 in excess interest that you get to keep, all without changing one penny of your spending habits.
It's the line.
720-895-0500. VA loans to 100% with cash out in the low threes. We've been serving Colorado since 2001.
I guess those 3 interceptions
That's what I said. But
was all the line, right? It wasn't him making a bad decision of throwing the ball straight into the air.
It's almost like a grin in the headlight off.
Hiring could be easier, less time-consuming, with more qualified candidates and faster results. What if hiring could be smarter?
Here.
That is the lousiest.
Want a tissue?
100 of the web's leading job boards.
You were complaining about my keyboard last week.
Your keyboard actually has keyboard.
Well, I replaced it.
But you know what? This keyboard is just totally shit.
The layout.
The way it clicks, it's just very weird. And I had my old MacBook. I liked it actually better.
Oh, I forgot. That's made by a little Chinese kid with little fingers.
They make these too, Mark.
Referrals makes it simple for growing businesses of all sizes to hire the right people, no matter the industry.
I mean, we are looking so forward to going to that building. We were talking about it just last week.
Cool.
It's just so far off.
What is
this play, the Mormon show? What's it called? Book of Mormon.
Is it that good?
I've been wanting to see it for like 5 years.
As long as you're not easily offended, it's superb.
Oh, the ratings are, or the reviews are great.
Save time and money and more money. And if
The Wi-Fi, I'm going to go to Troubleshooter Wi-Fi. This other Wi-Fi stuff
Alliance
up
Leasing
here.
will get you into your fleet vehicles with
Yeah, it's good up here, ours.
the lowest delivered price.
When it's
I'm a
hooked up.
finance guy. And to me, the choice of
Ours
leasing with
rocks.
Alliance is the obvious one for your business. Learn more at alliance.lease. That's right. Just type alliance.lease. Alliance Leasing, your key to the perfect fleet.
Why is it so good?
Afternoons 4 to 7.
Because it's our own equipment from downstairs.
And we're hardwired?
Hardwired up to the right there.
Of course. You know why? She works cheap. Join me Tuesday at 4 o'clock for more Irreverent Talk Radio.
Hi, Tom Martino here. One Clear Choice Garage Doors. If you need garage doors for any reason, or you want to get your garage door fixed, there's only one choice, One Clear Choice, oneclearchoicedoors.com. Give them a call, 303-565-6409. And they also have emergency service. They can fix broken springs, and they can put in a garage door opener for as little as $2.99, Wi-Fi compatible, time to close feature, and battery backups. 303-565-6409, oneclearchoicedoors.com. Love that company. Okay, let's talk. Bonnie Shields is with us. She's an attorney at law that handles divorce, separation, child custody, support, maintenance. And this came into us a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week ago. Dan says, I want to adopt my daughter. She's 8 years old. And Dan, this would normally be just a pretty simple case, but she has a biological father in prison. Now, how do you know the biological father, who is in prison, convicted of child pornography and distribution and exploitation, and 10 years ago, molestation? Now, he's in prison for 27 years. How do you know he's opposing the adoption?
Because after I filed my adoption paperwork, he filed against me some motions to deny signing over his rights to his daughter, and now is asking for all kinds of things, including a paternity test, which is odd because no one's denying that he's a biological father.
No one is denying, but he wants a paternity test. I wonder why. Why does he want a paternity test? Do you know?
I don't know. And I think he's got time to search loopholes and things in the system.
How can he demand anything in prison, Bonnie? I don't understand it. Well, I don't get it.
Well, if he will they let him go to court to fight this? Do you know, Dan?
I personally don't know yet. I know that's one of the motions he requested for was leave time to show up to court.
Hey, I'd like to get out of jail to go to court, fight for adoption. What does he hope to do with adoption? That's what I don't understand. Do you have a hearing coming up?
The only thing we have set right now is I have a phone call to make at 10 o'clock next Tuesday
to dispute a motion for his paternity test that he's requesting. He's filed it with the court system but never sent me the paperwork. So already he hasn't done what he had to do, and now for some odd reason I have to basically make an appearance via the phone and talk to the judge and him at the same time if they let him get on the phone.
Why are you objecting to the paternity test? I mean, if he's going to pay for it, why not just do it?
I'm not necessarily, well, I don't know who's paying for what, number one, and number two, I'm not necessarily saying that he can't have a paternity test. I don't know enough about the system. I don't know if he's found a loophole with the paternity test or what. I don't understand why he would even ask for it.
Well, I posted it, and I pinned it to the top of our Facebook page. If you go there now, it says, urgent, this convicted sex offender in prison 27 years on child pornography charges wants to keep custody of his 7-year-old daughter and have visitation. And if you click it, you'll learn more. We have a GoFundMe site.
What county did you file this case in?
This is in Jefferson County.
And what county is he incarcerated in?
He's in Ordway, Colorado, so I don't know what county that is, but he's in Arkansas Valley State Prison.
Where is that?
Ordway.
I don't even know where that is.
It's Ordway, Colorado.
It's in Colorado.
Okay, so even if he can come to the hearing, if they don't let him come in person, he could appear by phone.
The GoFundMe site, by the way, is
Crowley County.
GoFundMe.com/fight4adoption. GoFundMe.com. Fight for adoption. Go ahead.
Yeah, the cards are stacked heavily, heavily, heavily in your favor. The adoption in order to adopt, or what has to happen is it's really 2 hearings in one. The first hearing, the judge decides whether to terminate his rights. If the judge says yes, they terminate his rights, that hearing's over, and then literally you walk the child in the front door and the judge does an adoption hearing, same day, same courtroom, and totally different atmosphere.
Now, what do you think the chances are? Can his rights as a father be terminated? Can you help us do that?
I think they could totally be terminated because the statute gives a list of reasons why. One of them is if you don't have contact with the child for a year. Another is if you haven't provided support in over a year. And then there's a list of felonies that if you have been convicted of any of the following, and
What are they?
I don't have them memorized, but I'm willing to bet these are on there. I can look that up, Tom.
Okay,
actually, it's
fine.
real easy. I'll look that up while
we're
on
A list
the air.
of felonies, but you would think it would have to be something to do with child molestation.
It has all to do with child assault and crimes against children. If you've been convicted of one of those, that is reason alone to terminate his rights.
How's jurisdiction work? How come he's got to go down to Crowley if this guy lives around here?
He doesn't. This hearing is held in the county in which the child lives. So the guy in prison, that's his problem.
So, Dan, which county is it that you're going to for this?
We will be in Jefferson County Court
Good.
System.
Now, we want you, and again, you asked us, so we're not pushing this. You asked us to help you with an attorney. You asked us to help you with costs because you couldn't afford this. And I told you we would. And we started. We raised some money. Listen, whatever we have, we're going to make work. But what I'm saying is, Bonnie says she thinks she can help here. And obviously, you can't discuss everything on the phone. So we'll put you two in touch with each other. And
that would be fantastic. Thank you.
Oh man, we're going to do it. This is going to be done. And this guy, I don't understand what he is fighting for. Now, one thing I think he made noise about, Bonnie, is even if he's in prison for 27 years, why should his whole family be terminated as relatives? Didn't he mention something about his parents? And so what if they want to be grandparents? Did they have any special rights at all?
They're not going to have any rights when this adoption goes through. Grandparents don't have a lot of rights anyway, and they could bring some sort of action out.
Can they say, even if they say this, my child's a scumbag or my brother's a scumbag, I still want to be an aunt and uncle or I still want to be grandparents? There's no special rights for relatives, right?
There are no special rights.
Okay. So I think we have a strategy here. And I urge people, Dan, I urge people to look at the GoFundMe site and to go to the Facebook. I pinned it at the top of our Facebook page. Dan, thanks for coming on. And what's the next scheduled appearance again? Do you actually have a date?
Well, the next scheduled thing for sure is next Tuesday.
Because Bonnie can probably postpone it if you need to. Tuesday at 10 o'clock, and it's telephonic?
Yes. I have to make a phone call because he filed a motion with the court that he did not send to me, and that was the paternity test. They've sent me a copy of it and asked that I call in, set a date, call in, and talk to the judge and he has to have the same opportunity to call in and talk as well. So we've already sent him his paperwork almost a week and a half ago, so he should already have his paperwork and know that if he wants to, he can, and if he's allowed to, he can make the same phone call to the same number at 10 o'clock next Tuesday. If he doesn't call, I don't care. I just need to talk to the judge.
And of course, and Bonnie might tell you there's no sense. I mean, really, I don't know why you're fighting paternity. Who cares? You're not disputing it, so who cares if he gets a paternity test?
Tom, I'm not necessarily fighting paternity. You're right. Who cares? But I just have to do my due diligence on my end, and the court has, basically ordered me to call in at the specific time.
Okay.
So I have to honor that.
All right. So we will put you in touch with Bonnie Shields, attorney at law, and be in touch, okay?
Fantastic.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And people, if you want to go there, you can go to our Facebook page, Referral List. On the referral, it's called the Referral List on Facebook. Also, GoFundMe.com/fight4adoption. GoFundMe/fight4adoption. And that'll explain everything to you as well. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Well, we have Bonnie Shields here today, again, for family law, and I almost hope you never need to use her. Of course, if you need a divorce, you need a divorce. And the other thing I say I hope you never need, and that is a bankruptcy attorney. Wink and Wink, they're there if you need them for a fresh start, Chapter 13 or Chapter 7, a husband and wife team that give personalized attention, and they have passion for what they do. They can help you out. Unfortunately, some people have deaths in a family. They have a divorce. They have something that might trigger unemployment, that triggers a need for a bankruptcy. 303-410-1720, 410-1720, winkandwink.com.
Get in the spirit and turn on your soundtrack for Halloween. iHeartRadio's Halloween Radio. We're your perfect party companion.
So, Tom, Bonnie, how much do we have to raise for this gentleman
Well,
for it to work?
let's put it this way. We're going to make any amount work.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna just do it. But let's say it's not going to go major, but let's say it did, then we have to revisit it.
I mean, like less than a couple grand or more?
Here's the thing.
We'll make it work whenever it gets raised.
Whatever it gets raised, we're going to make it work. She's going to make it work. What we need is this. Short of if there was ever a trial, then we'd have to figure out why there shouldn't be. But if there's ever a trial, then we'd have to go back and try to raise. But what we have now is enough. We have like $1,100 or $1,200. That should be enough right now to do what we need to do to get it done. Unless, because I can't see a scenario.
And I have a $100 check as well.
I can't see a scenario where a judge would not terminate rights.
Okay, Tom, I can't either. I'm trying to find that list of crimes. And then, Bonnie, should I give him your office number and have him reach out to you, or do you want his info to reach to him? Tell him to call me this afternoon and bring me his info too, if you have it. I'll email it to you, and then, yes, I'll have
He has his case number. Actually, that adoptions are sealed, so I can't even look that up.
So, yeah, just have him call me and also give me his info.
It's unbelievable, though, that he should have any problem. I think he's anticipating trouble more than he'll have.
Yeah.
I think he was shocked when that parent objected.
Maybe, this is kind of weird, maybe he doesn't think the kid's his, and his whole play right now is to prove that it's not his and there's a third man involved, just to fuck with her life.
Yeah, but that would be abandonment. That would be easier probably, right, Bonnie? If there was a third guy involved that never had anything to do with it.
But I was looking for something else.
He was asking for a paternity test.
Yeah.
And I'm going, why would he do that? Maybe he doesn't think the kid's his, but it's some other person that's not even involved yet, would that throw a huge wrinkle into the whole thing?
No, you just have to research John Doe if she doesn't know who the dad is, and then the hearing would go through without a hitch. Unless she knows who the other dad is. Oh, why this guy's asking for it?
That's what I'm saying. There's got to be a. Why is he asking for this?
And that is true. Honestly, I don't know if he has even a right to ask for it. That seems very odd.
Right now, Napa Full Synthetic Motor Oil is on sale for just $4.29 a quart. Quality motor oil at an affordable price. A deal so good it practically sells itself. Which begs the question,
payment
what
data
do we do with the rest of this commercial? Rock and roll. Repeat the deal, I guess. Napa Full Synthetic Motor Oil for just $4.29 a quart. That's Napa Know-How. Napa Know-How. General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer ends 10/31/17.
Water filtration is one of the areas of rip-offs that I hear all the time. Over the years,
I got to call this guy after the show.
Water
or after
filtration, water softening have been major
Yeah, water
rip-offs.
guy.
That's why I love to introduce you to Pure Water Choices.
Yeah,
the best in the industry. Why? Because the owner Al is a master plumber, not a master BSer, and he knows his stuff. Did you know that even through public water supplies, there are still many things in your water, like trace amounts of medications and sediment and metals?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him. I just got you. Oh, push this good for me. What is this for? $29.95. Okay, furnace.
Just let me tell you something. I know I can get in very big trouble because
rather than get caught up in the hype. Yes, great value, great prices, and most importantly, the truth. PureWaterChoices.com.
So
720-219-7818. 720-219.
Now, Mike, I'm going to have to.
Let's just treat it as a screaming.
No, I'm going to. You're right. That's good. He's a good guy. He's a really good guy.
Now, he is coming in on the 9th, but it's purely going to be for, what do you call it, insulation and windows and blah, blah. You know what I'm talking about? What's it called, though?
Weatherization.
Thank you.
Natural fiber for sugar control with more antioxidants than any fruit or vegetable.
Do you always hang out in the cereal aisle?
Pretty much.
Look for Grainberry cereals with amazing Onyx sorghum. Grainberry.
Need a new roof? Call Excel Roofing at 303-761-6400.
This is Denver's talk station.
You just want me to go directly to him, say one of our referral list members has a deal or what?
No, we'll do it.
Hi, Tom Martino here with Bonnie Shields, attorney at law. We are going to fight that child pornographer who is trying to retain custody of his biological daughter, but the stepfather has been in her life for many years, since she was 3, and wants to adopt her. Let's go to another problem. Joan, what's happening with you, Joan?
Hi, Tom.
What's going on?
I'm a small business owner, and I do hiking maps, and I do sell through Amazon.com. And last year...
Now, to sign up with them, was it difficult to sign up with them?
Oh, gosh, did it back in the 90s.
Oh, you did it way back then?
Yes, been doing business with them that long.
And so do they fulfill the orders, or do you?
They do. I send directly to them.
Wow. So, Mark, do they do fulfillment on everything now, or is it
Who?
Amazon?
Well, what do you mean on everything? No, there's a ton of different stores out there that have Amazon sites, and you order from them, and they ship right from their own facility.
Okay, yeah.
But
she actually ships to Amazon.
Yeah.
And then Amazon sells her stuff.
They fulfill it. That's the best way to go, because that's where you get that Prime, if you're a Prime member, and that's where you get all the easy returns.
Joan, so what's the problem with Amazon? You've been selling with them since the 90s.
Yes. And last year they deducted like $59 from my October payment, and then in January they deducted...
Well, how do you normally, for me to understand this, how do you normally pay Amazon?
They pay me monthly.
They collect a payment.
And how much, for example, you take 100% in through Amazon. How much do you get? 98%, 95%? How does it work?
We have a set price.
You do?
So, yes. And
then,
that includes my shipping to them.
And then
so they have a set price per map.
And then whatever they sell it for, they keep the spread.
Correct.
Do they fashion the ad and also talk come up with the price, or do you come up with the end price?
They come up with their end price, but I establish my price to Amazon.
Okay. Is there much of a markup? I'm just curious because I want to know about this payment that you made.
For me, no. My price to them is $5.95 a map, and I probably between the printing, shipping.
Oh no, I'm not asking what you're making. You $5.95 a map. What do they sell it for?
I think they're selling it for like 13 plus.
Okay, and you know what's amazing?
Gotta love Amazon.
But they still have great prices even with markups, which is amazing. Okay, so now they just arbitrarily then took out $59 from a payment.
And then another 83. And when I questioned them, they said, we need to study this, which they did through July. And at that point, they said, well, we find out we do have a discrepancy and that we owe you $5,600.
$5,600? So what, have they been taking out money all along?
Well, I think I have sent them so many more maps than I've ever been paid for. And I do not know how they came up with that number.
But do you keep track of what you're owed? Wouldn't you know at any given time?
I keep track of what I send them, and then I base, then when they send a payment, they say how many they ship, so I assume that's completed orders. And it's always less than what I ship.
So you always are owed some money, is what you're saying?
Yes, yes.
But you didn't realize it was $5,600.
No, and I don't know how accurate that is, but that's what they came up with.
Okay, and did they document it in an email?
Yes.
Okay, so now where do we stand?
Well, they said we are compensating you for that amount, and it'll be included in your next payment.
And that was what payment?
Let's see, this is...
I think
that would have been a September or October payment, which neither one had included. And now I'm getting emails saying, well, we're reviewing it again.
Well, I mean, it's a big monster. I mean,
I know.
Things take time.
But I'm wondering why you don't have better records. I mean, you should have right down to the penny what they owe you.
Yeah, but she doesn't know how many they shipped, is what she's saying.
So she sends to them,
say 100, but only 50 shipped.
So they don't have to pay her until they're sold.
That's right.
Yes, correct.
I see. So you depend on them to be honest with how many they shipped. And then they, and then they pay you according to that.
They will also say, oh, well, we lost the maps you sent us, so we're deducting.
We lost them?
And then I can prove that I have tracking numbers on these, and then they say they reimburse me, but you cannot tell from their bookkeeping whether, and that's what I'm going through now these last 2 months, is they keep saying, oh, well, we lost this, well, it was your inventory, but we found it, so we have to deduct it.
Really, if you know how many you've shipped to them, and you know how many they've paid to you so far, forget about this $5,600, you should be able to work that backwards and know how much they owe you if they all shipped.
Yep. Because I returned very few, maybe 5 out of all these years.
When you say return, what do you mean?
Customer return.
Well, sometimes they return them, I guess, if they're damaged.
Oh, okay.
Or, yeah, which has been minimal.
But it seems to me after all these years that if this never came up before, that don't you have every reason to believe they'll work it out?
No, because it really has changed this past year.
What has changed?
Well, it used to, if a map or two is missing, that's not worth going after. But now when it's getting to be 10 to 20 maps...
But wait a minute. You didn't even know that, though. They're the ones that came to you and said, hey, we owe you $5,600.
You thought it was just $59 one month and $83 the next.
Yeah, and so they wanted to go back to, I guess, year 2000. I was having difficulty getting the information from them as to how many have you sent us. And I sent them that information, and which was even worse than what they had.
God.
It's so hard to get through to their bookkeeping it's just hard to follow.
Well, my God, I can't even imagine what their bookkeeping department looks like. They must segment it into states or cities or whatever. You know, they must have, I wonder how many employees do they have? I don't know. I mean, this is monstrous. But do you have a contact number?
It's everything has been done by email.
Okay,
And
so you've never talked to anyone, right?
Yeah.
But you do have a contact email of someone who knows you specifically that you've been communicating with, or is it like just a general staff email?
General staff, and the person's name always changes.
We could put DAF on this.
We can easily start probing. I'm suspecting it's nothing more than a giant who is just tripping over themselves. I don't believe that it has anything to do with them wanting to keep money. I mean, you know, this is a what is this company worth? Over $100 billion?
Oh, he's the richest man in the world.
No, but
personally,
the company itself over $100 billion.
Oh, easily. The CEO is worth $90 billion.
Yeah. So Joan, we will actually contact them for you. I mean, we're not afraid to contact them. I think that they are simply just crazy big. I think I can't even imagine the task they have if they have thousands and thousands of Joans all over the place. Joan, do you actually print your own maps?
Yes, I do.
And you've been doing this, I mean, so how long have you been doing this?
Since 1995.
And what are the maps of?
They're of like Rocky Mountain National Park, Indian Peaks, Yosemite, Grand Teton.
Do you change them much over the years? Do they have to be updated?
Oh yeah, about every 3 years. They're panoramic. They look like ski area maps, but they're hiking maps. So they're for people who can't read topo maps.
We should have her in as a common
What
one.
a very
This would be cool.
What a very cool thing. How did you even get started in it?
And are you the photographer as well?
No, it's not. It's
oh, it's type.
It's not pictorial, is it? The map?
Well, it is. But Jim Dehoos, who does all the ski areas in Colorado.
Yeah.
He's our artist. And then we put the trail information on. You know,
now you get the information though from the government, right? And overlay it.
Well, actually, we research. We hike the parks, and
you literally chart maps. You chart them yourself.
No, we take lots of information, but then go out and field check it.
Oh my goodness! So you do field check it and kind of add stuff when you want or when you need to.
Well, or if they change trails or change accesses or trailheads. Mm-hmm.
What do we search on Amazon to see it?
They're called trail tracks, hiking maps.
Trail tracks. And Joan, it's very fascinating. You're very fascinating. You started this business, and how many like in a year? Give me an idea of how many hiking maps can be sold in your best year.
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
Not probably as many as you'd think.
No, but I was just curious. I mean, like how many people actually buy hiking maps, you know? It's just curious.
Thousands.
Wow.
So not tens of thousands, just
okay.
thousands.
All right. Well, hold on, and we'll get your information and give it to Deputy Daff. We lovingly call, well, we have a number of names, but the Bulldog's one, but the Woodpecker's the best.
Very fitting, Tom.
She won't give up. 303-713-TALK. Genesis Total Exteriors can take care of your exteriors and interior. Genesis, if you need anything done, Genesis is the place to go for bathrooms, basements, remodeling. They're doing a lot of outdoor stuff now. They're moving indoors as the weather gets bad. But here's the thing about Genesis. You will never, ever get ripped off, and that's the part I love, because we hear about rip-offs every day in this business, but not when it comes to GenesisTotalExteriors.com. And you can, Mark Machowski, I know him, 303-679-8509, 679-8509.
Bank of America.
This
This report is brought to you by...
I was watching a pattern downstairs and I liked where it went.
You bought some or sold?
I just bought 100,000 worth.
Through downtown and traveling up north into Northland.
I'm going to go pick up a couple
wide
miles.
open through the heart of town. Trouble free on the turnpike.
It probably just needs a battery.
I put 3 batteries in it.
I-270 looking good in Commerce City.
You're not using those Harbor Freight batteries off the free coupon, are you?
Lakewood, 470 looking good in the Highlands area.
I know from experience, they don't work very well.
It's going to be mostly sunny later on today.
Tom, they can terminate rights if they find that parent is unfit, and things that qualify is conduct toward the child or other children of a physically or sexually abusive nature.
End of story.
End of story. As well as I suspect he probably doesn't pay support, he probably hasn't seen the kid. Those are both 2 other reasons. And then it comes down to best interest of the child.
People call me when they're injured and they say,
Yeah, and how could anyone say it would be best interest?
Well, plus he's in for how long?
On personal
Yeah, 22 years. They also have to consider this child's child's relationship with the person who wants to adopt. Well, that's for dad in her eyes.
Greedy or not entitled. You need someone who will fight for you. If it's someone else's fault, you should be paid. I mean, after all, if you broke someone's window at a house or you ruined their car, they expect you to pay for it. It's not something you can ever do on your own. So if you have a serious case, John Fuller will tell you and fight for you. 303.
Look at the research on BAC. Ready for this?
Don't let someone get away with it.
You see that? I haven't seen that forever.
Holy cow.
What is that for?
Every single report is a buy or outperform a strong buy. And look, they're from yesterday.
303-590.
Wells Fargo, WFC.
John Fuller on my referral list at referrallist.com.
You got rid of your JP Morgan.
I got Citibank right now.
Holy cow, look at that compared to...
If you own a
Do you day trade?
Denver market,
Dan?
No,
another way that
not
American financing can save
So
you money.
you just
We all know
listen
home
and...
values are higher.
No, I like I said, like say the banks and stuff, just talk and just for the...
He's a trader. He makes trades. He doesn't day trade.
Yeah, if Trump does what he does on the banks, holy cow.
What is he doing?
If he repatriates his money and...
It's his money coming back in. If the tax cuts go through, basically.
If your original lender can't help you, chances are American financing.
Is he good? He's really good for the economy, isn't he?
I think
unbelievable.
If he does anything with Dodd-Frank, like make a little less regulation,
banks will go through the roof.
As much as $1,000 a month.
And you know who that really hurts? That Dodd-Frank hurts a lot of people wanting to get into their first house and stuff. You know, people say, "Oh, well, we need that safety catch."
They overreacted on that.
Yeah.
The recession wasn't from people walking away from their house. The recession was from just bullshit.
well, the derivatives are what really drove it, but people had to walk away from the house to cause
No, there had to be something done. You had people qualifying.
Right, they should
people that were homeless for houses.
Yeah, that had part of it. But Mark, the true thing is when they started.
That first caller could have got
when they started messing with the ratios, bank could loan to what they had, and then bank started calling real estate due. They called them right for no reason, Mark, for no reason. It was psychological. I mean, my God, they caused people to do a massive sell-off. They caused it, and it's like it was a panic. And what they wanted to prevent, they caused.
They've made it worse.
Right.
Yeah, what they feared. They made it work, totally agree.
It was so egregious.
But they were like, say, the government said, hey, everybody should have a house, so they made everything very much easy, and the bank said, wow, look at our bonuses. You can make these loans.
Actually, that's how much I bought of it. More than what I thought.
I'm a finance guy, and to me, the choice of leasing with Alliance is the obvious one
Listen,
for business.
Voice, do you hear voices speeding up? His voice is sped up. Mine was sped up. I'm hearing all these things. They're slightly compressing, aren't they?
They're squeezing an extra 13 seconds.
Bullshit, man. I can hear the voices. They're compressed.
If I think they're compressed, they're definitely compressed. That's what people I'm talking about.
What does Citigroup say? Is that as well as Wells Fargo?
Yesterday they had a good little pop from...
What I'm saying, what did the analysts say?
That's what I'm saying. Yesterday. No, but Market Edge. I like Market Edge. I think it's weird when some of them go back years. Who? Just analyst reports.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Robert, you have a question about your marriage. Go ahead. Bonnie Shields is with us, attorney at law. What's going on, Robert?
Yeah, question twofold here. Do you have a recommendation to have our business evaluated, since we probably are splitting up, and thought
okay,
smart to get that done.
I want to ask a few questions. How long have you been married, Robert?
Almost 20.
Okay, and what kind of a business is it? What kind?
Medical practice.
Oh, you're a doctor?
She's a doctor, and I'm the practice manager.
Okay, and did you guys start this practice together?
Yes.
Okay, and you built it from the ground up?
Yep.
Okay, so it's really, really difficult with certain businesses are easier to value than others. Bonnie, when you need a business evaluated, who do you go to? I know there are a few go-to people in this town. There's only about 3 or 4, actually.
Yeah, there's a few companies that are respected. I'm working with one right now. Am I allowed to give a name?
Yeah, of course.
It's Cordes, C-O-R-D-E-S, Cordes and Company. I'm working with a Tiffany Nelson there right now on a case.
And what do they do?
They actually they give you a laundry list of information that they need, depending on what sort of business it is. So I would, first of all, ask that company if they've done medical practices before, because if not, you're welcome to call my office, and I'll give you the other places that attorneys go to, the other companies in town that can do evaluations. And so you want to ask them about that, and they'll give you a laundry list of documents. They do meetings. These things usually take several weeks. They can cost thousands and thousands of dollars. You know, a small one might be $3,500, and a large one could be just about anything if it's a huge job. But ask if they've done medical practices before, and if not, call me and I can get you another name. But that's a really good idea to just get that going. And if you guys can kind of jointly choose an expert, so to speak, you're not stuck. If that report comes out and you really hate it, you have a right to get a second report if you want it, but from someone else. But it's a really good idea to go ahead and just get that done. So you guys have some hard numbers that you can be working with.
Now,
you try to settle.
Here's the weird part, okay? First of all, is it impossible that you two will continue as partners, business partners?
I guess it's on the table.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure. And that was the second part of my question for Bonnie is, let's say I do lose my job from there. And I'm employable.
Are you getting a salary right now?
Yes.
Do you get a share of the profits, or was your marriage so united that you guys just pooled your money?
Yeah, we just pooled our money.
Yeah. So the profits just went to you and her and the household. Correct. Basically. Okay. So you didn't have a separate dividend or profit sharing check at the end of the year. You just had your W-2.
Correct.
Okay. So Bonnie, if you lose your job, what was your question?
What are the things I might be thinking about there where, okay, well, I am going to lose my job. Let's say she says, hey, I want to be done by, a couple months, and then I can't find a job, or...
Well, it would be like any other job, I would think, right, Bonnie?
Right. I mean, you could be, while you're looking, maybe exploring... Well... There could be a maintenance issue here.
Are you assuming she's going to keep the business? Because, in other words, in this kind of business, I can see where the wife would retain it. She's the doctor, and it's on her goodwill, and hire a manager as opposed to you hiring another doctor. But there are businesses where one keeps control of it, even though the other one had a major part in it. But it's a foregone conclusion for you that your wife will remain, and you're the one who will leave if anyone needs to leave, and you want to be bought out, so to speak.
You need to get counsel, too. I mean, I hope you're not going at this alone.
Do you have an attorney?
Well... We don't have an attorney because we don't hate each other.
Okay, if you both don't have an attorney, that's fine. If you both don't have an attorney, you may want to go to someone for mediation.
Bonnie, you do that, don't you?
Yes, she does mediation.
I do, but I think more important, I mean that's important, obviously, to help you hammer things out. Do not use the state forms for coming up with your agreement. This is far too complicated, so you guys can even jointly pay some attorney to draft up the agreement that you guys have chosen.
Which would be like mediation.
Do not draft it yourself.
Shouldn't he end up with alimony at some point, though, to get right to his question?
If he is the one on the downside, it could be possible. It could be possible. It's all going to be in the numbers. So that's why they're doing this valuation. And I assume she makes more of a salary than you do, Robert?
Yes.
Okay. And so, Mark, it could be, they've been married, what, 20 years, they said? So
Correct.
Is maintenance, Bonnie, always payable if one makes way more than another?
Not always, but usually that's what happens, yes.
At least for a period of time.
Right. And for a marriage of 20 years, the guidelines would recommend, or not recommend, it's just a guideline, but
about half
the length of the marriage, 10 years.
About 10 years of maintenance of some kind.
Aren't they generally better, in some cases, just doing a one-time payout instead of a monthly
Well, you know,
payout?
that depends on the couple, Mark. There are a lot of couples that do that settlement. Now, it depends on your economic situation, really. If you have the money, it's always better to do it if you have the money. If you don't have the money, you can't do it. So, but people are always willing to settle for less now than wait. So, Robert, you know, Bonnie Shields' number is 303-798-1927, 798-1927. I'm Tom Martino for Ideal Home Loans. For your next
problems with deducting it from your taxes. So you have to, but the other person doesn't have to pay taxes, so you have to do a big reduction.
Or why couldn't you just gift it? Did the court won't allow it?
Oh, you could.
Okay.
I'm just saying, but why would you want to?
Well, I don't think it would matter.
You just do it.
Is all income considered for child support?
Of the principal faster.
On a one lump sum.
No, not necessarily.
Do you pay
If
taxes?
somebody has 2 jobs, you don't consider the second job. But you do consider somebody as rental income plus interest income plus the salary. You consider all those things.
Well, you don't pay tax on any maintenance?
Someone referred altitude to him, and he's like, did that problem work out? Because someone else is telling me to use them. I just wonder, does that name ring a bell at
Yeah,
all?
Altitude Solar is the one that the guys.
Our guys went and looked at?
Yes, well, it was.
But it does count towards your
And then
income.
he went and
Somebody decides
looked at it,
to ask for more.
and Altitude Solar wouldn't do anything with it. They put a critter cage around the squirrels were eating on the wires and stuff like that. So Altitude Solar.
They suck. It should be you can give this update when the guy comes home.
Yeah, what's her name? My mouth isn't working so hard for me to get it. I can't think of the guys.
I mean, I think
No, not Altitude Solar.
The caller. Let me look. Our solar guy went out.
Right.
Oh, he is so nice.
Yes. That's who I would. She's a great one to push them into that.
Perfect, man. I know what you're saying now. Hang on, I'll get that info.
We need to background check that guy and stuff, though, before we start.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, if we need background.
So I'd start bugging them again.
Yeah, I'll bug them.
I mean, I might do a cell phone, half of the cell phone.
Yeah, car insurance, they're not over.
But there are things that are
You don't have to
outside.
have an extra mouse.
Would a cell phone be outside? I would say I would pay for cell phone.
I would think it's cell phone, car insurance, but not for
Maybe.
school fees.
School fees could be extra, right?
Well, if you gotta go downstairs,
Summer camps, maybe.
No, I don't mind going down. I might, but
I'm glad she's not being a
Oh, no. It's just that she's not even being jerk at that. In fact, she's giving in on a lot of stuff. Like this whole thing.
Post your job to over 100 of the web's leading job boards, so you don't spend time wondering where the right candidates are searching. Then ZipRecruiter uses its smart matching technology to scan millions of active resumes and notify the most qualified candidates to apply for your job. And the ZipRecruiter dashboard makes it easy to review, rate, and contact candidates all in one place. No wonder 80% of employers search on ZipRecruiter for quality candidates through the site in just one day. ZipRecruiter makes it simple for growing businesses of all sizes to hire the right people, no matter the industry. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
We're so confident ZipRecruiter will get you the results you need. We'll let you try it free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I remember when she wanted to totally homeschool them and they were like, no.
ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Why did she want that?
The courts don't care, do they?
I've never had fight. It would come down to best interest. Where are they going to get it? I don't think the stats are that good for homeschooling.
I don't think so either.
I bet you they're not. Yeah, there's another option. You bet. If it's best interest of the child. Sounds like you guys reached a happy point though.
Yeah.
So happy points are good.
I can't think of really big
Yeah, that's awesome.
The ownership and the management from the top Down, they believe in excellence, hence the name Excel Roofing. First of all, they will never trick you into anything like signing a blank contract or saying we'll take care of whatever your insurance wants to take care of. When it comes to roofing, they believe you need to be fully informed, so they give you a full contract with everything that needs to be done, and then they will fight with your insurance company to get what you need if it comes to that. And then you don't pay a dime, not one dime, to get them on the job and to finish that job. Then, only if you're 100% happy, you pay. And by the way, they don't even have a cancellation penalty because they know that they will earn your trust, your business, and your loyalty. That's Excel Roofing. 303-761-6400. Whether it be a repair or whether it be a major replacement, keep them in mind, especially with the storms coming. 303-761-6400. ExcelRoofing.com.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for talk radio, which means you can take K-How wherever you go, whenever you go, anywhere. But iHeartRadio is more than radio. Tell us the favorite show you love, and the iHeartRadio app creates a custom station just for you. With the smartest conversations, you know what? It's that easy. And as you listen, thumbs up or thumbs down, we personalize the station to suit your taste. So right there on your phone, it's in your pocket. K-How and your own custom stations based on your choices. Download the free iHeartRadio app now.
Affordable interest mortgage still has rates in the mid-threes. Do that upgrade that you've been putting off, or pay off that high interest rate debt, or just get ready for the holidays. Purchase your next home with only 2% down and no mortgage insurance. Take AIM, Affordable Interest Mortgage, 720-895-0500. We all know rates are going to go up, so why keep putting it off when you can borrow money in the threes? Do you know paying mortgage insurance is like adding 1.5% to your current rate without the tax deduction? Why? Take AIM, 720-895-0500. Call now and find out how to pay off your home faster, save over $100,000 in excess interest that you get to keep, all without changing one penny of your spending habits. Take AIM, 720-895-0500. VA loans to 100% with cash out in the low threes. We've been serving Colorado since 2001. Where it's all about you is not just our motto, it's who we are. Get the respect you deserve. Affordable Interest Mortgage, 720-895-0500. And 98191, regulated by DORA, equal credit lender.
Liberty Mutual presents worry-free music moments. Switching to Liberty Mutual could save you $782 on the perfect home and auto insurance for your needs, so you can feel good about the family budget and the massage you're about to treat yourself to.
This is awesome.
Get a quote at libertymutual.com. You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide survey of new customers. Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company.
Mother's Milk, a miracle elixir. GodSaidManSaid.com. Hauntings, dead spirits, and ghosts. Noah's Ark, fact or fiction. GodSaidManSaid.com. Sex superbug. Kiss panic attacks goodbye. Unlock your Holy Ghost pharmacy. GodSaidManSaid.com. Y chromosome Adam and mtDNA. 21 signs of doomsday in the chip. Hours of text and streaming audio. GodSaidManSaid.com.
Your shot at $1,000. Right now, text the keyword
Some website, huh?
to 200-200.
GodSaidWebsite.com.
Plus iHeartRadio info. Standard data and message rates apply. That's win to 200-200. This
is the Troubleshooter Show.
I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can.
Hi, Tom Martino, your Troubleshooter. Welcome to the show, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. This hour brought to you by Joe Lazzara. If you need a criminal defense attorney, Joseph A. Lazzara, attorney at law. Joe Lazzara will fight for you tenaciously. Joe Lazzara will communicate with you constantly. Joe Lazzara will provide you the best criminal defense available. Now, I'm hoping you never have to use him. But if you do ever get accused of a crime, including a DUI or something similar, things that normally should be preventable, and even if you think you want to just throw yourself at the mercy of the court and plead guilty and get it over with, you still need an attorney to get through the system. Joe Lazzara, 303-429-6200, 429-6200, 303-429-6200. Keep the number close. The holidays are coming up. Please, people, Lyft and Uber are great services. They really, really are. There's no reason ever to drive now, ever to drive when you have had drink. 303-429-6200. Bonnie Shields is with us, a divorce attorney who does custody and child support and and separation and all of that, and even mediation. Bonnie, are a lot of people opting for mediation nowadays? It's such a logical choice, I think. It really is.
It's a great choice. It's usually mandatory with the court as well, but a lot of people do it anyway just so they don't have to go through litigation, and they can just get the case over and done with, and everybody walks away.
Okay, this guy Anthony, I'm not sure if we can help him, okay? He's holding, he called back. I don't blame him. The guy wants help. He's reaching out. Let's analyze this quickly. If anyone has any suggestions, let me know. He's homeless, basically, okay? But he's living in a trailer for a guy that trades him work for the trailer, but he's not making any extra money. I mean, I find that hard to believe. Anthony, he said, I have a place you can live. You're in his Airstream trailer. You're living there, and you're working, installing gutters, clean, and all of that. But what did you ask him about a paycheck in addition to the room and board? It's not even room and board. It's just a room. He doesn't give you any food, does he?
He loses his top. He loses his top.
Like when you say, I'd like to get paid something, what does he say?
Well, there's no money here.
Okay, well.
It just goes off.
Okay, well, you have a place to live. I don't know what else to say.
I have job offers.
Huh?
I'm educated. Give me 1 second, Tom. I'm educated. I'm a classical French-trained chef. I can make all your sauces and everything. I have job offers. I have nowhere to live. When I got hooked up with this guy, I was making $4.50 at a cafe, living in a tent in the woods, hiking a half hour to the community center, then hitchhiking from there to work. And this guy hooked me up. Oh, I'll give you $20 instead of the $15. And I got the Airstream. I'm like, well, I got a job. No. It's kind of everything all the time.
Yeah, but I don't know what to tell you. You don't have transportation. You'd have to literally take a bus every day. You can't drive. You don't have a license. Oh, how much would it cost to get reinstated, your license, totally, for everything you need to do?
It's I think like $500. It's $95 for the reinstatement, and then it's like $150 a year for the insurance on the motorcycle, which is kind of a cheesy way to get through it, but it's insurance, so I can get my stuff back. And then I title the bike, get plates on the bike, and I got to take the written and driving test again.
So you're talking about basically $500 to get
give
that.
Or take, yeah.
And then you need a place to live if you leave this guy.
Well, yeah, because the second, I've got job offers, but the second I stop working for him, he's going to come home. You know, what do you mean you can't come to work for me today?
Right,
well,
right. I know, I understand.
Go to work for this other guy who's going to pay me, and then I'm out in the woods, and it's cold, man.
But,
it's really cold.
This guy might be a hothead, but technically...
Still, but I can survive.
Technically, though, he can't just kick you out like that, really. He can't, but who's going to fight it?
But he can't, yeah.
Technically,
we're way back up here in the woods.
He would have to give you some kind of notice and all of that, but I don't think I'd push it right now.
He's not that kind of guy.
How did you find him? At the cafe?
No, I got done working at the cafe, and they were on vacation.
Well, how'd you find him?
And I was looking for a ride back from 285 to where I'm at up here, and he threw out the offer and everything, and it was the end of August.
I just can't think. I can't think of what to do right now. You're in a quandary. I am. Anthony, if you have a way we can get back in touch with you, I really will contemplate it. Maybe people will call with ideas. He's living in a trailer. Okay? He only gets rent while he works. He only gets a place to stay. He gets no extra money at all. Okay? But he's not destitute as far as abilities. He says he's a French chef. He's trained. He says he can do other work and get jobs. He just doesn't have a place to stay. Aren't there places that would let him stay there while he's working? Well, Step 13, I guess. They're not called Step 13 anymore, but don't they have a program if you're working?
He'd have to pass a drug test and everything.
Well, what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm saying he'd have to do that. He doesn't have a car to get from wherever he is down there would be another thing. Don't you think he's a little off the cliff here?
Yeah,
how do you wake up one day? He acts like all his problems are right now inside of a little bubble. No, they're not. This has been created over 40 years.
Of course it has. Of course it has. It's right. And then this is not Anthony necessarily alone in this, but people do not head problems off at the pass. They don't. They don't. Because if people had a nest egg, or if they thought somewhere along the line, Anthony did not put any money away for emergencies. You're right, Mark. People are always responsible for their situation in life. Always. Okay? Always. Except some major illness that might befall them or something. So, Anthony, all I can tell you is we'll take your number, and if I come up with some ideas, you can get a job, okay, that's not the problem, but you need a place to live while working so you can save up some money, but you don't have any money to put down on anything. You don't have security deposit, you have nothing. So I don't know if anyone has a room they can rent you while you're working. We can do a background check on you. So if there's anyone who might be able to give them a place to stay. I mean, where's most of your work? If you were going to work, where would the work be centralized? Where would it be?
Like Aspen Park, Conifer, I actually have a job making $15 an hour waiting for me. You know, I just got to be there. I have no transportation from where I'm at. I'm
so,
like
and
half
it's in
hour, 45 minutes away.
It's in Aspen Park.
Right, near Conifer, yes, sir.
Okay. What about the Denver area? I'm just curious. Did you ever try the Denver area?
I've worked down there before. I was a chef at 240 Union when I first moved here.
But would you take, what I'm saying is, you should expand your search. All I can say is this: if anybody has any ideas, give us a call. You know, we try to help Anthony, but sometimes things are just impossible. They really are. I mean, I can't magically get you a place to live. I like your story that you want to work, you just need a place to live temporarily while you get on your feet. Does anyone have any ideas? Give us a call, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Do you realize how many people listening to this show right now, are on the verge of total failure? There are so many people on the verge of total failure. Then there are so many others succeeding. Why is that? What is it that makes some people make it and others not?
And I don't think he had any wife. He didn't have any kids.
No.
He said he was professionally trained in some kind of French cooking.
It doesn't make sense. I know.
Nothing makes sense.
Chris, and
maybe he's holding out for management.
Chris is next. I would like to know if anyone could tell us a story on how they got where they are, or what they did to get out of a bad situation. If anyone has ever gone into a bad situation, homeless, broke, whatever, and you had to fight and claw your way back, I would love to hear how you did it. It might inspire others who are in that situation. We get calls from people like this all the time that need help. How do you go? First of all, how do you get to that position where everything has caved in? Because like Mark says, it doesn't happen all at once. When you see the danger signs, are you doing something about it? Or do you wait until it's too late? Or do you kind of hope that it goes away? Or do you always depend on others? Do you always depend on others? Chris, what's going on with you?
Hey, good morning, Tom.
What's going on, man?
I had a question reference about a couple weeks ago. I was listening to the show, and you had one of your listeners had a bad installation from Altitude Solar, and another listener went out and looked at it and tried helping him with it. And I was just curious because recently one of my contractors referred Altitude Solar to me, and I'm curious if they ever made good on that installation or not.
It was horrible. If it's the one I'm thinking about, it was
horrible.
Absolutely,
it was horrible. There was nothing good about it.
Right, they wouldn't come back out and help them.
Yes.
Dan, didn't they say pretty much the whole job had to be redone?
It was misinstalled. He had to take the panels off and reinstall them. They didn't put any critter cage around them. That's why squirrels got in there and chewed the wires. Lots of issues like that.
Okay, so I definitely don't want to be using that.
Chris, what did this guy refer them for?
Because I'm renovating my house right now in Westminster, and
you're looking for solar? If you're looking for if you're looking for solar, we right now don't have anyone we can recommend.
The guy that went out and looked at the other one,
he's a pretty good guy.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, until we do a background check and do other stuff, I'm not comfortable giving them out.
Right. Here's the problem with solar people. They just are a weird sort.
They come and go, don't they?
And they come and go. It's unbelievable.
How about the big one, though, Solar Mart? When's the last time, or not Solar Mart, Solar City. When's the last time we had a complaint?
Well, of course, that's a major company, and we don't get complaints about them. Wanda?
Yes.
If you could hold, I would love to hear your story. Were you off the cliff? Did you fall and get back up?
Yeah, I was homeless.
All right, I want to hear how you got out of that. Please hang on. I'm Tom Martino, and we have a lot to talk about. It's a very important topic. It really, really is, and I think it's worth hearing. Approval reverse mortgage. Warning: reverse mortgages are changing drastically. Now, they're still good for some, not for others. To make a long story short, if you are 62 to 70, you would get way less money than over 70. And Joan Sullivan can explain it all to you. Now, I am not saying don't consider a reverse mortgage. I'm saying it's a specialized product for specialized people, for people in special situations. It can do a wonderful thing for you in retirement if you have a lot of equity and you are older than 62 and you need to tap that equity. ApprovalReverse.com. Find out more. It could be for you, maybe not, but Joan Sullivan at Approval Reverse is the only one I truly trust not to slam you into it. 303-771-3528. 303-771-3528. ApprovalReverse.com.
From the Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
Mile High City Drive in really good shape as far as the freeway system is concerned. Hardly any delays across town. North and southbound I-25 looking good through the heart of the city. Same with east and westbound I-70. A little bit of slowing out on the toll road on E-470 southbound approaching the I-70 interchange.
You know, if you're homeless, why would you live up in the mountains during the winter in the woods?
See, it doesn't make sense.
Watch out for heavy fog along the I-25 corridor.
I mean, wouldn't that be the last place you'd live, honestly? I think I'd be on a bus to Arizona.
Sunny later on today with a high of 58 right now, overcast at 28.
What front range guy?
That's my fault. I'm sorry. I looked at the log. Mark Schmidt. Sorry, bro.
He is booked again, but it shouldn't be nearly this soon.
Talking with a farmer's agent can help you assess whether you're ready.
What do you got, bud?
Find an agent
On that,
at farmers.com.
they got his number, so I'm going to give the guy, push him to do the background, and then I'll give Chris.
What are we talking about?
That solar guy.
Our solar guy.
He was kind of waffling and stuff on it, and he
Does
said,
he
well,
want to
just
come on
wait.
Referrals?
Huh?
Does he want to come on?
I think so.
I think we can give him this job.
Here's
Right,
the problem.
exactly.
Well, which is great, but I have a feeling this is the kind of guy we overwhelm in a heartbeat.
And I told him that was the issue, one of the issues that we had with him. That
He's just got to be able to say, no, I've got one project, I can't start the next one.
Right, he's got one crew.
Mark, instead of doing like straight out ads, here's what I was thinking of doing. Posts that highlight the radio show or posts that highlight the referral list and boost the post. Is that a good plan?
Yeah, if it's good. I mean, anything like that's good, as long as it's interactive. I mean, it's good. This child molester one is driving a lot of traffic. It drives a lot of traffic. I mean, it really does. In fact, here,
I never put our disclaimer on it either, damn it, about how we help people and I'm on the air. See, I need to have different tags, Mark. See, I have different tags for different articles. Do you see this? Like what we do for people.
Yeah,
and I copy and paste them. Don't you think that's a good idea to have for taking advantage of the traffic? I do.
Mine too has a great story. Rags to riches.
Cigar selection, newly felted pool tables.
I bought this scratch ticket down at the local.
5 blocks west of I-25.
Next thing you know, $500. Changed my life. Smokes were no longer a problem.
Smokes. Smokes. That's.
I'm drinking a high-class beer.
No more PBR for me. I have become so hardcore working here. It's fucking amazing. You know, the first thing I think is, why isn't this guy working?
Face gets clicked on a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty faces, they do.
That's true.
Just faces.
That dancing, remember that dancing girl one I did? That thing got a ton of clicks, but we weren't converting.
You're talking the Goose? The little girl? That was seriously, that picture was huge.
Well, you know why that was.
What was
That was my
The
place.
girl with the Goose?
Oh, man. That was controversial as hell.
God, those comments were unbelievable over a child. I've never seen anything like it. Some of them should have been locked up.
I agree. I totally agree.
The dog one was engaging.
I wouldn't have anyone else, and neither should you.
Which one am I looking at here? Yeah, the poor pup. You know, we're talking 80 clicks.
The Ghana pup?
Call Zero Res today. 303.
That's a lot. I mean, really, for what we've spent.
Zero Res, the only system.
80 clicks. Here's what we spent. 80 people.
Without residence.
$9.
303-471-5150. ZeroResDenver.com.
But a lot more people read it.
Fortune 500 companies lease their vehicles because that's the smart financial move.
No, those are clicks directly to it. Well, when they see the ad, I mean, they're reading whatever's on the ad, of course. But people that actually went through to the landing page, that's a shitload, Tom, because we only sent it out to 600 people. 77 went through. 1 out of 6 are going there, or 1 out of 7. That's huge. Can you imagine if 1 out of 7, 100,000 people listening acted on something? But you know who I sent it to? I sent it to people that, you know, no-kill animal shelters.
We got to fix something.
Chinese restaurants.
Well, I was going to say, what if you put on there, dog is going to be eaten unless you donate?
All I did was target Chinese restaurants. Free dog.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. So we get
a call from a guy who says, hey, so I'm homeless. I was homeless camping for a while, lost my lease, couldn't find a place. The lease fell through. I had a job. I was hiking and hitchhiking to the job. Finally, this guy said, look, I have a trailer you can stay in. I'm staying in a trailer. And now he's not paying me a dime. I'm just staying in the trailer. And he's a hothead. I don't know how to approach him. I can get another job, but I don't have a place to live. I don't have transportation. I don't have a license. I mean, this guy just snowballed over some time. This didn't happen to him overnight. So I ask people, if you've had a bad story and you came out of it, let me know about it. It might be an inspiration to others. How many times do we hear from people on this show and it's too late to help them, unless we simply just give them a $4,000 and say, here, make up for all your mistakes and start over, and then where would they end up? I don't know. So I think we'd waste a lot of money if we did that, and we don't have the money to do that for everyone. So Wanda, you wanted to tell us a story, and then Russell has one coming after you. So Wanda, you were homeless, is that right?
Yes, sir.
How did you get to be homeless?
Well, I started running away when I was 13. And from about that time on, I was pretty much on the streets.
Now, why did you run?
Years old.
Why did you run away?
Because I had a bad home life. I was getting raped.
Okay. Oh my God, I had a suspicion of that. So you had to get away from that situation, and you had to fend for yourself.
I just found out that if I drank and drugged, then that stuff didn't hurt no more.
So then what?
I drank and drugged for 30 years.
And so drinking and drugs, and then what?
And then I ended up just homeless, and I married 4 times, but I always married somebody that was homeless and beat me until finally...
So, man, Wanda, so you were raped and beaten, you were on your own, you were doing drugs and alcohol. What changed all that?
Well, when, back in... 83, I finally got so tired of it, I went over to York Street, and I told York Street, I said, I need some kind of help. I'm tired. Somebody's got to help me. And they called this halfway house. It was called the Adams House. And they come and got me and took me off the street, and they showed me how to live life. They treated me right. They introduced me to God, and they treated me correctly and showed me how you're supposed to live life.
What did you do then, Wanda?
Then I went to beauty school, and I got me a job, and I turned my life around, and I've been sober and clean now for 31 years.
Wow, that's unbelievable. And so you have your own place, Wanda?
I have my own house and everything.
And you went to cosmetology school. Who paid for that, Wanda?
I took out a student loan, and I paid it back after I went to work.
That is
I paid
wonderful.
for all of it.
Now, Wanda, so you said you went to York Street. What is York Street?
York Street is a Alcoholics Anonymous club.
Okay, and you said you needed help. And the halfway house, how was that paid for?
Well, they don't. It was. They didn't like to be called a halfway house. They was supported by churches.
Okay.
And then if you had money coming in,
you paid what you could.
If you could afford it, you gave them some.
I see. Yeah.
And whatever. But they required you either go to school or get a job or something. You couldn't just sit around and do nothing.
And
they're the ones that took me down and got me into beauty school.
Did you think before that life was hopeless?
Oh, yeah. I didn't think anybody loved me. Nobody cared. All they wanted to do was beat me and take advantage of me. And I ended up I lost 3 kids to adoption, and then 2 other kids that I had, they grew up somewhat a few years in foster care, and I got them back, and they love me today because I made amends to them, and they really love me. They call me all the time.
Wanda, did you ever find any partner?
You know, I finally found a partner back in 2006, and we got married, and we got together, and he lived for another 10 years. He's passed away now, but that was the best part of life I've ever had, was when I was with him. He treated me like a queen. He treated me like a lady, showed me how a man was supposed to treat a woman.
How did you meet him, Wanda?
At work.
Oh, that's great. That's great. You're an inspiration, Wanda.
He showed me that I could actually be loved and cared for and everything. I miss him.
You know, it's kind of cool. She
Wanda,
made the decision.
You have a great story, Wanda. I would love to meet you. If you ever could make your time to come into the radio show, we would love to have you to inspire others. You are really a winner. I so appreciate your story. Suzanne, I put her on hold. Could you get her contact? What were you going to say, Mark?
It's inspiring that she woke up one day, literally, and decided to go to York Street or Club York Street.
Right, she had enough.
And that was it. She had enough. People say, hey, they got to hit rock bottom. That was hers, but she turned it right around.
Well, see, when people call me, like the guy today, I want to be able to do something. We have to figure out where those places are that will help you from ground zero like this. And there must, so people help me out here because, I'd like to help out the guy that called Anthony. I'd like to be able
I don't know if he was ready to be helped out, is I guess kind of where I was going.
He didn't seem so destitute. He didn't. He said
who lives in the woods up in the mountains during the winter? Why wouldn't he be down here? Why isn't he doing what he was taught to do?
Where is he going to live down here, though? He has nowhere to go. He is clinging to the little security he has, which is that Airstream. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's the problem.
Now, Russell, you have a wonderful story, Suzanne said. Russell?
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me.
You have a story? Were you down and out?
Yes, I was. I was born in Colorado Springs in '82.
Yes.
To a wonderful mother and a deaf father, and things weren't so great in life. My mom passed away when I was about 20 years old. I was homeless. My dad lost his house. She was the breadwinner. Things were pretty bad. I ended up joining the military, though, and turning my life around, meeting my wife and everything else. It's a pretty long story.
Well, hold on. I want you to give me a few details here and there, because I want to help others help themselves. And if we hear from you, we always hear from the people who call us and need the help. I'd like to be able to give them examples and other things to do. That would be, I think, helpful. It would be a wonderful thing. 303-713-8255. Get your calls in on anything, and if you need help, call us. And, of course, Bonnie Shields is here from Bonnie Shields Law about divorce and separation and all the related information in between. And, I told you about one Clear Choice Garage door. A guy just called me and said, Tom, I couldn't believe it. They gave me that free inspection, like you said. It was a free inspection. I had to mention you and they said it's a Martino inspection, so they went through everything, all the safety adjustments, the cables, they lubricated, and then they gave me a report on my door. And if I want to have these additional things done, I can, but there's no obligation. That's oneclearchoicedoors.com, their safety and condition check. 303-565-6409. We got more coming up, and we'll hear more about Russell's story as well.
Email, do you have, or I'm sorry, where can I find the story on the adoption case? You posted something about...
Oh, yeah, it's on go to Facebook. Referral is Facebook here.
Oh.
Yeah, you went to Troubleshooter, so go to Facebook.
Three things.
It's Facebook.com.
Business tax,
our
you know that, bringing the money back in.
Repatriation, and then to find us.
Some of that
you have to,
I don't know, that's what
do you have your Facebook?
Yeah, I'll just do it on my phone.
No, I think you'll cut some of it. Or,
Wait, it should be at Troubleshooter.
Drew, where are you from?
I thought it was on Troubleshooter. Let me make sure.
There's probably a link.
I trust Ron and Jack Larson and their team of experts, and you can too. 844 Larson Tax.
Well, you got hard luck stories?
LarsonTaxRelief.com. That's 844.
I was looking at an article, most sexually diseased states.
Larson Tax Relief is the only tax relief and audit organization I endorse, and my referral is...
I just wanted to see if it fit in anywhere.
Was it one where you see one and then you have to scroll down and click next?
No, they're all here. I hate those.
Oh,
And
and
then
they're
watch
always
this
showing
stupid ad.
pricing. And the one you want to see is always 39 out of 39, and then it's not exactly what they said it's going to be.
Alaska, number one. Okay, what do all these have in common? Alaska, Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, New Mexico, the Carolinas, Arkansas, Delaware, and Oklahoma. They're all poor as hell.
Delaware too?
Nah, Delaware maybe not.
Well, Oklahoma, Alaska's not really, you know...
How about the 10 least sexually diseased states? That's a good...
That's a surprise Vermont's up there, because they're having a big heroin epidemic up there.
Well, that's different then.
Where at?
I thought Vermont, Connecticut, all up there, I thought they're main big heroin.
Not compared to like Georgia and Louisiana.
But those are... Well, Georgia, that's like I say the deep south there. Oklahoma should not be poor state. Is it?
Best-selling hair products in one gorgeous box, including the powerful cell therapy
New Jersey?
intensive repair hair mask, essential hair oil,
Maryland.
and shine, and more. All of this is specially priced.
Syphilis, I didn't even know that was around.
That's a huge...
I thought that was eradicated.
They sell out of them every year. Why not buy several?
You never hear of anybody dying from AIDS anymore. Have you thought of that? It's almost like it's cured.
But it's still expensive, though, to get
the right medicine.
Right.
Long gone.
You just never hear of it. He died from AIDS. You never hear that anymore.
I know somebody that's HIV positive, and
that's different, though, right?
yeah, it hasn't turned to AIDS. Once turned to AIDS, that's bad. But sometimes he sends me articles, and he just sent me one. The CDC has now recognized that if you're on these meds, at some point you're on the meds and it shows your blood level shows a 0 of the virus. You have it, but it shows a 0. That's why you can't communicate it. They've known it for years.
But they want to be so careful.
But the CDC has now come out and said so. I mean, it's going to change the lives of people who have it and maybe.
So it does get rid of it. Well, you're saying it gets rid of it, but it doesn't.
You can't spread it. You can't spread it. You got to still stay on those meds, but at least
But
you
do you
can
ever
have a
get
normal
AIDS on
life.
those meds? You won't get AIDS.
Right, yeah, as long as those levels stay down.
You're saying the level's going to literally zero.
HIV, and never had AIDS.
And he appears to be healthy.
Actually, yes, very chubby.
A little chunky.
He got that from a woman, didn't he? Well,
Oh my God, I thought he got it from like
It probably was. I mean,
1 million women.
Right.
Wasn't he the one that had like...
Well, no, Will Chamberlain is one that really did it.
That's just an unusual way for that to spread.
Yeah.
Not impossible.
Could have been a needle. That's probably the biggest, right?
You wouldn't think he would have, but you never know.
The person I know is straight, and it's really difficult for a straight person, the straight male, Because finding a partner, no, it's poor choices.
It's sharing of the blood, right?
But-
That's how you gotta do it,
Yeah.
sharing of the blood.
But what do you do on date number one? Do you tell them date number one, date number two, date number three?
Geez, and if you don't tell them and something happens, man, there's been people who have gone down for attempted, not attempted murder, but
Okay,
whatever.
listen to this. California just passed a law making a misdemeanor knowingly passing AIDS to somebody.
A misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor.
Knowingly.
Knowingly.
Leave it to California. Hey, they search your car for oranges as you're driving into the state, so.
So you, but felony to knowingly bring a fly into California.
Yeah, exactly. You got a fruit fly, you're facing 10.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. So, Russell, you say you were born in the Springs. What are you, about 25?
Nope, now I'm 35.
Oh, 35. I'm sorry, I did the math wrong. 35. You were born in the Springs, and when your mom died, your world came crashing down. How old were you?
I was 21 years old.
And were you out of high school?
Yes, sir. And I was trying to get into college, but the family was unable to provide for any financial education.
Yes.
I didn't consider the military at that point. And also, I had a best friend in high school commit identity theft with my checking account debit card. So with that happening, I was reported to a check systems, and Federal Credit Union put me up with I owed money to the credit bureau, even though I have a letter from the district attorney from the state of Colorado saying that I helped this bank recover all their money and sentenced my best friend to jail in restitution due to the fact that he was running around committing identity theft.
This
Not
was
only in my name, but his grandparents' name and another person I don't know who was.
This was years ago, right?
Correct, around 99, 98.
Okay. And then, were you homeless ever?
Correct. When my mom passed away, she was the breadwinner in the house. She was an interpreter for the deaf. My father was completely deaf. He worked at the Air Force Academy for 30 years. But when she passed away, he couldn't afford the mortgage payment anymore, and so he lost everything, basically. And I also was a 21-year-old male, and my world came crashing down. I lost my best friend the same day as my mom.
And you were on the street, literally?
Literally, I slept on the street in Colorado Springs.
And then
right on 8th Street by Walmart.
And then what turned around? How did you decide the military?
I had an older brother from my mom's previous marriage who got a 20-year sentence in prison. And I decided that robbing a bank wouldn't be the best way to get on my feet, so I went and talked to the military. I went and talked to the Air Force because I didn't want to go with the Army or Marines. I didn't want to be kicking in doors or anything.
Yeah.
I asked for medical. I knew I wanted to get in the medical field, and that was my only request, to get in the medical field, and I wanted to go.
And you joined?
They told me, the Air Force told me I needed to pick a couple backup jobs like mechanic or electrician, so I told them I didn't like the sound of that. I walked out, and the Navy recruiter picked me up. Guaranteed me medical, he said. So I jumped on it.
And you served in the Navy for how long?
5 whole years.
And after
as a Navy corpsman, specialized in surgeries. Spent time in Afghanistan, the whole nine. And I was once on a Navy ship.
And after that, what happened?
I met my wife my second year in the Navy. We got married a few years after in 2008. We got orders to Colorado. She's still active duty. 2 years ago, we had my baby daughter. She's expecting my second child, who's due May 5th next year. And just the world turned around.
Where do you work?
On my feet and saved my life.
Where do you work, Russell?
Right now, I'm a domestic engineer. I was previously working at Memorial Hospital before my daughter was born as a surgical tech, specializing in all kinds of.
I love this guy. So you're taking care of the house now. You're the house husband?
I prefer domestic engineer, but yeah.
Okay, cool.
Call it Mr. Mom.
So your wife is doing what?
She's active duty military. She's United States Navy.
Cool.
She was a Navy corpsman as well. I met her at Balboa Hospital in San Diego. She was my boss in the emergency room while I was waiting for my surgical school to start.
I did not realize we had Navy stationed in Colorado.
She took recruiting orders just so that we could get back to my home state. She loved it so much. Plus, she was born in New Mexico, so if we wanted to get anywhere off the coast,
yeah.
what else could we do?
So Are your plans to, when things settle at home, are your plans to go back into the surgical or health field?
Not so much. You know, I did a lot of trauma surgeries in Afghanistan, and it just kind of changed my perception, you know. Just freaked me out, and it kind of made me a hypochondriac that something might happen to me. You know, everything's a trauma in my mind now.
So you actually were in on those trauma surgeries in the service. Wow.
Yes, sir. I was awarded medals for it in Kandahar, Afghanistan. I was one of the first people to open up the brand new facility in Kandahar, Afghanistan on May 23rd, 2010, when the night before our base was under attack so bad that, you know, we stopped working out of the tent. We opened up a hospital that was just established, so they named me a plank owner, meaning I was part of the first crew ever on that Navy installation to set it up.
Very cool. Well, you have a lot to be proud of, Russell. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
So cool, Tom.
Yeah, it's very cool. Thank you for your service, too. So you see, we have 2 stories now of people literally on the street. Wanda's story, oh my God. That was heartbreaking what happened to her.
I love that military story, though.
Yeah, he has a good story, too. You know, the military is a great option for many people. And I also want to,
They'll pay for your college with the GI Bill.
Yeah, yeah. So if you have any stories like that, let me know. Now, Suzanne, I'm not lighting up line 3 or on line 2. I don't know who's on, or line 4. But we have a lot more to talk about. 303-713-TALK. Bonnie Shields is with us from Bonnie Shields Law. We're also talking about divorce, separation, child custody, and support. This one question we asked off the air, but I'll ask it on the air, Bonnie, about the support. What kind of income is considered when child support? If I know that my ex-wife has a trust fund, are you allowed to inquire about that when it comes to calculating child support? The guy wants to know.
You are, but that gets kind of iffy. It depends on how that trust is set up, so that may or may not count in the income. If you have an income stream every month from it that pays out so much, then that's going to end up being income, but the trust itself is pretty protected. Okay, so any income, any money that flows in, even if it's interest and stuff like that, sure,
or dividends, absolutely. or investing?
All of the above. The only thing that doesn't count is when you're working full-time and you have a second job, maybe moonlighting. That second job doesn't count for purposes of calculating child support.
Okay, so they only count your full-time job.
Right.
Not extra activity. Okay, right. So what if you were a full-time person working, and let's say you did real estate on the side and you really made a lot of money, could you argue that that was not part of your full-time job?
Well, there's an argument there. If you're making more through real estate than your full-time job, there might be an argument over which one you're going to count. And it depends on how that real estate is set up. So that may or may not be income. I know that sounds like that's an iffy answer.
I know it is, but because you said they don't count second jobs, which is really weird. And I see why, because you shouldn't have to work 90 hours a week or 60 hours a week more than anyone else just because, and then count against you. I can understand that. But Mark, I could see a scenario where a guy has a full-time job and he's a pretty savvy investor. But then investing is not considered a job.
Right. Or like, for instance, if you happen to own a Wendy's franchise or something like that, and you're getting money from that every month, that's going to count as income in addition to just your regular salary.
It will count against you. But if it's a job, if you had a job and you were making more at your job because you worked more than 40 hours, the extra income would not be held against you. All right. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Tony, how did you get out of your situation? Tony.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Well, I think it all boils down to choices. I mean, I was born, my father was in the military, and I didn't want for anything that I needed. But I made choices to do a lot of drugs at a very young age.
Yes.
And it ended, it got to where I was 4 years old. I was completely homeless. Even the socks I had on were borrowed. And I ended up at the rescue mission. And I ended up giving my life to Jesus. that's what worked for me. But I had to make a choice that I was tired of that stuff.
Yeah, now I understand, and I appreciate when people say that, but there's a way more than just giving your life to Jesus, right, when you say that. What did you do in actions? And I appreciate what you're saying, but you must have, what did you actually do after that?
Well, I made different choices. In other words, you have to decide that you're not going to live that life anymore. I stopped going to those places that where the drugs were. I find that, you had two inspiring stories before, but mine is probably more common. I ended up homeless because I made a lot of bad choices.
Right, I understand.
Alcohol became more important.
So how did you get from homelessness to a home? What did you actually do? That's what we're trying to figure out.
Okay, what happened is that when I got there, it gave me a chance to sober up. It gave me a chance to get a direction.
Got where? The mission?
Right. They helped me get schooling. And then when I got down to the time I was going to graduate, they helped me with a car. I found a job.
How did they help you with a car?
My wife.
How did they help you with a car?
Well, they get cars donated, and they said, here, we'll sell you this car. Just make monthly payments. You don't have to come up with a down. You don't have to do anything.
And you don't have to be qualified. Tony, is that you're talking about the Denver Rescue Mission, right?
Well, actually, in Colorado Springs here, that's where I'm from.
Okay, the Springs Rescue Mission.
Right.
You see, Mark, a lot of these missions, they do want to help, but people don't want to go through it. They don't want to do what it takes. Like, you have to have a job. You can't drink. You can't do drugs. You have to do this. But what I hear from these rescue-type missions, what I hear is that if you put in the effort, they will help you to the extent you're helping yourself. And that's extraordinary.
Yeah, I think otherwise you're just throwing money down the drain.
All an accident-free in the drive across metro area freeway system. Things are looking good.
I tell you what, I think that would be to be that down and out, live on the street like that, to come out of it. That's much more than hustles, I think.
Yeah, he said his was pretty normal, though.
Right.
Well, you know what I mean.
Right, but hers as far as for man, that's a feel-good story for
forecast. Sunny later on this afternoon with a high near 53. Tonight partly cloudy for the trick-or-treaters, an overnight low of 39. Right now the sun's popping out and it's 30. With the traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner. 6:30 K-How.
This report is brought to you by American Financing.
We finance and use your equity to consolidate your high-interest debt into one low monthly payment. Hey, it's Ross Kaminsky, and you can save hundreds of dollars a month. American Financing, 303-695-7000 or AmericanFinancing.net.
NMLS 1823334.
I have a feeling his face.
Let's talk about buy and build. A place that I love.
We'll talk about it tomorrow, but here's what I think is going to happen. They're going to come out.
Passes on contractor pricing to you. In fact,
their ad revenue is going to be good. So the stock's going to start going up. Maybe 3, 4, 5%, not that much, 3%. Then they're going to get into their conference call. In the conference call, they're going to start talking about how the EU and everybody over there is going after them, and then all these Russian investigations and all that stuff. And then the outlook's going to come down.
They're going to be, Twitter's the same way. They're going to be put on the spot, Google too, that they're going to have to stop the fake news, which is very tough.
Here's the real problem with it. You pretty much have to hire humans.
Yes.
Humans are expensive.
Yes.
These fucking algorithms miss this shit.
Absolutely.
And for every algorithm they'll do, the Russians will easily come up with an algorithm that goes behind it.
Correct.
So you create an entire department that's got to watch for fake news. That's expensive.
Right. Kind of like a station, TV station, radio station, whatever, vetting their people. Only they don't get the revenue that.
Like the guy that was in the OJ trial. I see OJ. Who do you get? Al Michaels? And Peter Jennings?
That's right. You get too many of those.
I'm right next to OJ. I see OJ.
Your credibility drops a little bit.
He looks scared. Al Michaels goes, don't let that fool you.
Don't let that fool you.
He said something at the end, Baba Booey, that's a code name for a certain radio host.
And save on all major brands like One Touch and Walgreens True Metrics. That's not just
You couldn't get over it, though. That was
But,
a
in fact,
funny phone call.
Yeah, aren't they testifying in Congress? I think all three of those, Twitter, Google, and Facebook, are testifying to see if what they get to do.
Snapchat.
You know the thing about it is the Russians didn't spend much money.
No, not compared to.
It was tens of thousands of dollars.
I don't know how much they actually moved any opinions, though.
I don't think that did. I think.
What are you talking about now, guys? The what?
As far as
Facebook ads that the Russians put out.
You know,
Oh, they would just spark controversy.
Yeah.
Like when I had
on
the
purpose.
Yeah,
The Russians did it to do what?
they would target just to stir up controversy.
Right. Well, actually, we did it to Israel.
Well, no, I was going to say I literally did it with the Goose Girl. I sent it to every PETA, anybody that loved PETA, and then I sent it to every hunter. And next thing you
got them together.
And I brought them together. Yeah, that went really good.
Here you thought you were doing good stuff.
Here I am trying just to make us all just get along.
Can't we all just get along?
What were you saying about the dog in the Chinese restaurant?
You don't want to sign a long-term contract.
Well,
Pay upfront fees. That's why you
I don't even remember. Oh,
Chinese.
I will tell you this is terrible. I was in Chinatown last week, and I was walking up the street. There's this little kitty cat in the doorway, and I'm like, whoa. I'd run.
You should have got a picture.
I'm just saying I'd run.
You said, and this
So
said,
terrible.
is this cat scared or what?
No. Hey, there's a reason for the song, Cats in the Kettle at the Peking Moon.
This is a song.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Is it to the tune of Cats in the...
Peking Moon.
Oh,
They said I eat every day at noon. They can serve you cat and you'll never know once they wrap it up in dough.
Oh,
this is a takeoff of, what's his name? Cat in the Cradle. Huh?
Cats in the Cradle.
Is that a Weird Al?
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show, 303-713-TALK. Somebody said that they went to Wink and Wink for a bankruptcy, and the Chapter 13 payments, they did a bankruptcy through winkandwink.com. That's 303-410-1720. But Bonnie, they said that the bankruptcy did not reduce their child support at all. And by the way, they're not complaining about Wink and Wink. They said they loved Mike and Gigi Wink at the firm, and the bankruptcy gave them a fresh start. But they said that it did not reduce child support. I don't know what they mean. It will never. I think he's talking about. He said he had a bill going in there, a big giant bill. You don't dismiss that, do you?
You can't get rid of that. You can't get rid of maintenance, alimony. You can't even get rid of other orders that come out of the domestic court. For instance, if you order to pay her attorney's fees, that's not something you can bankrupt if that's an order coming out of the family court.
Really? So even if you're ordered to pay attorney's fees, anything that's ordered by the court,
the domestic court.
Okay, and of course, I'm sure that Wink and Wink probably advised them of that because we've talked about that before. Things that you can't dismiss in bankruptcy. If you ever have any questions, though, you can ask them directly. 303-410-1720. Because taxes, for example, or court-ordered restitution, or anything that was deemed fraudulent. Like a lot of these contractors, Mark, that take money up front and they don't perform, they go bankrupt. We have fought them. You have actually had some of our attorneys file motions.
Adversary hearing, yeah, and we won.
To keep it out of the bankruptcy.
That's right.
That's wonderful.
Hey, I had a question. If you owed back child support, Bonnie, and the kid turns 21 or whatever age, I know it's not 18, 19, do you owe it to the child at that point, or do you owe it to the mother still if it's child support?
You still owe it to the mother.
Well, that seems a little wrong.
Well,
What?
it's to reimburse her for the
Oh, that's right, because she had those expenses.
Those expenses
That's
that were
right.
incurred
I
by
get
the
it.
mother.
Theoretically. Hey, Nick wants to share his story. And by the way, we're also solving your problems and answering your questions. Just give us a call if you have any problems, questions, or complaints. Somebody lied to you, ripped you off, or cheated you. But we're asking for people's stories because I hear about the people that went to the lowest depths of depths and came back. And I want to know how they did it, because when we get calls from people, we want to be able to help them. Go ahead, Nick.
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Good, man. What's going on?
Well, I just wanted to give my story. I was 19 years old, and I was addicted to ecstasy. I was selling ecstasy. I was hanging around the wrong people, wrong crowd, and, you know, I was getting really depressed, and I ended up putting a gun to my head. And,
Holy crap-oli.
I talk about your life flashing before your eyes. That's what happened to me. I couldn't do that to my family. So I moved out of Aurora, moved out to Elizabeth, you know, BFE, and
what did you do though? What changed?
Basically getting around the bad influence.
But what did you physically do? I'm trying to figure out, like, where did you make a change? Like, did you have a job, for example?
I was unemployed. I was just, you know, making my money off of selling ecstasy.
So how did you get a job?
I actually moved out to Elizabeth with my uncle as my own kind of intervention.
Right.
And my uncle, I worked with my uncle in construction, and he told me, hey, if I was to do anything different in the construction world, I would have become a plumber and electrician. And I said to myself, well, I'm pretty good with electrical, so I got into being an electrician, and I've been in it for the past 11 years.
Great. Are you a master yet?
Not yet.
What are you?
I'm going for my journeyman at the end of the year.
And do you have and you can find job anywhere, right?
Oh yeah, I'm currently working as well.
Of course. And Nick, that is a great story. There's another guy that I want to talk to coming back. He was on heroin. Now he owns his own business and has a family. I love these stories and more coming up.
This was a great topic, Tom. I think it's going to be inspiring for someone out there who's at the low of lows. That's a great topic.
Listen, Wanda, let me tell you, over the years I've had to hire so many of these guys that are in trouble. Because I little stab maybe they're a couple hundred. Some kind of financial trouble. Getting scared. But all of them have
What is it,
underlying
did it
major
start
problems.
coming
Drugs,
back?
alcohol.
It's going down again, or you just took the
whatever.
I couldn't. It's been doing this. The highest it's gone is 150 or 2750. So I
What company are you from?
So
Let me check back there since I had no time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it's down.
Also,
So down.
Which one are you talking about?
Don't let everything.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I bought it at 25. I mean, come on, I bought it at 27.46. Sold it at 27.50. I got a buddy that always goes, I can't believe you risk that for that. And I'm like, you're not. He acts like there's a chance it's going to go to zero or something.
Well, that's a news story.
It still wouldn't go to zero.
Not zero. Why?
No, then you know, I might end up sitting on it for
No, I'm
6 months.
a divorce attorney right now.
Somebody has seen place.
Right now, we just bought a house and I need lots of work done, so I need to find somebody in the construction field that needs to work.
Very well, that can do much better.
Oh, to trade, that's good.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Very good idea.
Somebody does fences, or a pond installer, or a kitchen remodeler.
First two ladies I married were attorneys.
Really?
And I didn't get a divorce attorney. I got everything. But you know what? I got it right the third time. I've been married 23 years.
Well, there you go.
5 kids, 16 grandkids, great grandkids who brought this.
Oh my goodness.
So blessed now, everything moved into the Salt Lake County.
Third time's a charm, isn't that what they say?
And you don't give a Colorado Police Department can fly up here and do an investigation.
University Police Chief Dale Brophy and two
Airplane
University of
hangars,
South Dakota football players turning themselves into
All over the metro area, all the different airports?
We built 67 of them out of front. This report is brought to you by load to one centennial to eject. Right now, there's nowhere to build. The land is zoned.
Customers at Lowe's save 5% on worker purchase.
Built a giant, really huge stuff.
Yeah.
When we get calls for the smaller planes on down. We're getting a lot of calls for big airplanes. We're building big airplanes. All the real big stuff is sitting empty. And the little stuff has 5-year wait
Get ready for the holidays.
And then you have another company that does what?
Finish line basements are basement. I started that and told my son-in-law that. Two son-in-laws work
We all
on
know rates are going to go up, so why keep
now
putting
one
it
of
off
them's
when you can borrow money in the threes? You know, paying mortgage insurance is like adding 1.5% to
The other
your
one
current rate
got
without
off
the
his
tax deduction. Psych meds. Game 720-895-0500. Call now to find out how to pay off your home faster. Save over $100,000 in excess interest that you get to keep. All without changing one premium spending habit.
Such a problem, and then we legalize marijuana, which now they can't. So it's legal, so they can't pass a drug test to get a job.
Serving Colorado since 2001.
And in schools where I was in colleges, it's such a huge problem. Yes.
Affordable interest mortgage.
I couldn't teach the day classes. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand it. So the class came in stone. I wanted to throw the rest out.
Seriously.
It's
Well, I've heard those are so dangerous because it's not regulated at all. When you take a bite, you don't know how much is in there.
National Institute of Health is doing a study, the first smoking study ever done by somebody other than a tobacco company. And they did a random thing. I've been in the study for about 5 years now. I used to smoke, but it doesn't matter. They took a random sample, and they're finding that the vapor.
Your shot is $100,000. Text the keyword Referrals to 200-200. You'll get a text confirming entry plus iHeartRadio info. That's Bills to 200-200.
And it doesn't have to be ugly. It's just
Troubleshooter Show.
I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino on 630 KHOW.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do.
Hi, Tom Martino here, fighting for you on the radio. You call with a problem and we solve it. Been doing it for 39 years here in Denver and recovering hundreds of millions of dollars in cash, merchandise, exchanges, refunds, and services. And we also provide Referralist.com to help you. So what you need to do is just call us, and we would love to help you. Okay? So give us a call. We have also a topic going on where we've asked people to give their stories about, you know, how they've gotten out or up from the ditch. We get calls from people who are homeless, broke, kicked out of their place, living in their car. They need help. They need a job. They don't have transportation. There's something is wrong. But as Mark said in the previous hour, that guy didn't just happen to the guy overnight. A series of things happened over the years, and he didn't make the right choices, right? And it piles up. It never goes away. But when that happens to someone, how do they change? One woman, Wanda, called. She said she ran away at 13 because her father was raping and beating her. She ran away from her family. She said she was on the street literally, and she found that drugs and alcohol dulled the memory and the pain. But she met men who also beat her and sexually assaulted her. And because she was homeless, no one really listened to her. One day she had enough. In her 30s, I think she said. She went to a AA meeting and said, I need help desperately. And they got her into some kind of treatment center, and that treatment center took her on and helped her. And she said they showed her that she is a person and worth something, and taught her how to live her life, she said. They helped her get into school for cosmetology. She got a job, paid off all that bill and all her other bills, and got a career. And then met a wonderful man she was married to until he died. And she reconnected with children she had while she was on the street and reconnected with them. This woman has a story that is unbelievable. It's such a great story. I mean, not the pain she endured, but how she got out of it. Then another guy called with a similar story about being down and out, but he went into the military and changed his life around. Became a surgical tech, met a woman, married. He has children now. So I was asking people to share their stories if they'd like, just to inspire others. I really would like to know how people did what they did. Angie, what's happening? Angie?
Hello?
Hi, what's happening?
Hi, I just was calling in because I know Anthony personally.
The guy that called that started this, the guy that called and said, he said he was camping for a while and hitchhiking to work. He sounds very ambitious, but
ambitious.
Then he met somebody else who offered him a trailer, and he was able to live in that trailer while he's doing gutters. But the guy's not paying him, so he needs to find another place.
Me and my kids have lived in that trailer with my husband.
Really?
And the guy does take people on. He seeks out the ones that are unfortunate and desperate, and he takes them in. And then he works the guy. Even he wouldn't allow my husband to do anything for me, his wife, who was sitting in that trailer. He had to be the chauffeur for the guy. The
guy offers this trailer in exchange for labor, basically.
Right, but you're working. He doesn't work a lot, but he works at least 30 hours a week, and that trailer is not worth.
No, I understand, but Anthony's still there though, and he's not leaving, so it must be worth something.
He has nowhere to go. I know personally.
How do you know him? How do you know him?
I met him because the guy who is the boss, his brother is a friend of mine. And actually, I needed a place to stay one night, and Anthony let me stay in that trailer, even though it could get him in trouble. He let me stay there rather than be out in the cold, because it's cold up here in the mountains. It's cold at night.
But I'm wondering why Anthony doesn't try. He says he can get another job because he's trained.
Yeah, he can, and there's people that want to hire him in Conifer and in Bailey, but he has to have a place to live, and
he has to have transportation. It's going to take him.
Most important thing, most important thing right now is not being out in the elements, because at night in the mountains, I mean, we don't want to live in Denver. That's the thing. Anthony is the age of me, and we've done that. We've done the stupid shit down. Excuse my language. Down in Denver.
I got it.
We don't want to
listen.
live down
Hold on a sec. But I did take care of it. So listen. She said a word and I bleeped it, and I know you didn't mean to say that. So, but the rule is I don't want to give you the opportunity to do it again, so I put you on hold. She can vouch for Anthony. Big deal. I know that. We're not saying Anthony's a bad guy, but I don't know how you break the cycle. He is living in a trailer, working with this guy doing gutters. If he gets another job, he'll get kicked out of the trailer. He has nowhere to live. He has no transportation. It will take him $500 just to get his license back, but even then, he doesn't have a car. So, I mean, this guy let himself deteriorate. We're trying to make up for that. Yes?
I had someone call in who had two great suggestions.
Yes.
A cruise ship cook or a cook for the oil fields. They house you and everything, Tom.
That is a great idea.
I texted both to Anthony. Good. I also have somebody else who's thinking about helping but wanted us to run a background check first.
We'll run a background check. We can only help to a certain extent.
You know that's not going to be good, though.
What do you mean?
I bet the background's not going to be that good.
Well, you think so?
He said he did text me and say, here's my info. I do have a past. So we'll be finding out.
Well, that's why, whatever.
Okay. Now, is this the name, Pow?
Yes.
Pow. Is this your last name? Is this a made-up name? Just tell me. If it is, that's fine. Is this a made-up name?
No, this is my real name. First name is Pao, P-A-O. Last name is Bang.
Okay, Pow Bang. Okay, I thought it was a Batman movie. Okay, Pow Bang. That's a cool name. It is a very cool name. So I'm sorry I didn't mean to insult you, but when I saw it written out like this, and I went Pow Bang. Okay, so what's happening, Pow?
Yeah, Tom, my son had a car accident back to June 11, 2017, and there's 3 cars involved on the accident. So my son, I got the police report. My son doesn't have anything to do with that.
Was it your son's accident or yours?
No, my son, but the car is mine.
Okay, the car's yours, and your son obviously was insured under it?
He's not in that yet.
Well, no, what I mean, Pal, is you gave him permission to use your car, right?
Yes.
And you had car insurance?
Yes.
Then he's covered. So what happened? You say your son was not at fault.
No, my son's not at fault. It's a 3-car accident, which is the car number 2 is called the accident.
Okay.
So which is right now, is the car number 2 is a State Farm, and the car number 1 is Allstate. So those two keep throwing me back and forth.
Oh my God! You couldn't have two. You couldn't have two worse companies. You have one Allstate and one is State Farm.
Yeah.
Okay.
They throw me back and forth to each other.
Of course.
They denied my car, my loss. So they both denied.
How bad is your car, which you're calling
it's not
car?
That bad.
Huh?
Just not that bad.
How much is it? Well, tell me how much it'll cost to fix.
It's under $1,000.
Here's what I would do. You say car number 2 caused the accident.
That's what the police reports tell.
Okay. And how did they do it?
So the police, car number 2, which is a State Farm, and I called and I told them, they just said they denied it.
No, I understand, but what did car number 2 do to cause the accident?
I wasn't on the accident, I don't know, but in the middle of the night, I think that it's just somehow...
Well, what did your son tell you?
He said that he had the first car at the accident in front, so he stopped, and as the other two just ran, crap from behind him.
Wait a minute. So they ran into him, but car number 1 ran into him and car number 2 ran into the guy behind him? Which one are you calling? The guy that ran into your son is the one to blame.
He doesn't know because at the middle of the night, but the car number 1 is just took up the sand. I think he don't have a...
No, only one car hit your son. Which one?
Right now, they both are pointing to each other.
So your son doesn't remember which car hit him.
It's middle of the night, so he don't know which one. All he do is just boom from behind.
Oh gosh.
So they both just pointing to each other. But like I said,
I don't know. This is hard. I was going to say that you sue in small claims court, and then they'll cry to their insurance company to cover it. You go directly after the other driver because you don't have to fight with their insurance. If that driver did it, you go after that driver in small claims court and get a judgment. But the problem is your son does not know who did it. He doesn't know who to sue.
Yeah. So the car number 1, which I took up the sand, but number 2 will stay there. So they both think it's a number 1.
The police report. Listen, pal. The police report must know who hit who. It must say on the police report which car hit your son's car.
It's the car number 2. That's a police report.
Okay. If the police, but they say the car number 2 hit your son.
Yes.
Then I would sue the driver in small claims court for car number 2 and sue for the damages. And you can actually sue as the car owner. You can sue, you go to small claims court, you go to the county clerk and you get a form and you fill it out and you give it to car number 2, the driver. You serve the driver. And let that driver fight with his own insurance company. I think you'll get a judgment.
Yeah, like I said, I don't have anything to do with that. I call my insurance, and they will do it.
Now, do you have collision coverage?
Yes.
So yeah, you can do that too. You can let your collision coverage cover it. But what's your deductible?
It's $1,000.
Well, then it's
under 1,000. That's my problem.
Yeah, so that's why you need to go to small claims court. Your insurance won't cover this because it's under your deductible. So you go to small claims court and you sue car number 2. Do you have a copy of the police report we could see?
Yes, I do have.
If you can send us, pal, if you can send us that, and then what we can do is we can look at it and give you our opinion on who we think is at fault. So, Pow Bang, you're the first one in the world that I had with a name like that. Pow Bang, and I wish your son Wham the best. Is it? Wham, wham, bang, boom. I love those names. Pow Bang. Could you imagine being on radio with a name like that?
I wonder if he's married.
Welcome to the Pow Bang Show. I'd love it. This is the Pow Bang Show for you.
Some young hoe.
I thought Italians had interesting names. This is very interesting. Pow Bang. Love it. So, seriously, have Pal send us that police report. We'll look at it. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Bonnie Shields, Lynn has a question for you. Lynn, if you could hold on just a minute. I want to talk to Brent Ivinson about the process, so many times I say, call Ideal Home Loans for your next Ideal Home Loan. And I talk about the different programs they have. You know, like credit tweaking to help you get even better pricing. Even if you're approved, you can be your credit can still be, you know, tweaked a bit. And then that's very quick. It's done in-house. Also, I talk about the interest rate guarantee. I talk about the down payment protection. I talk about all kinds of programs they have. And the one thing I never talk about is the process. We talk about how quick it is, but Brent, what's the process after someone calls? I call and I say I want a loan. What happens?
Well, you know, the thing I think most people are surprised by when they call our office and talk to us, Tom, is the first question we ask is, what is it that they're trying to accomplish? And I'll give you an example. We may have two people calling that say they want to save money, but what they're going to do with that savings and the reason they need that savings is very different. And so as we get an understanding of what they're really trying to accomplish, ultimately, we can go to work to truly customize a home loan that works for them. And the other thing that we do, too, we put you in control of the process. If you'd like us to come out to you and meet face-to-face, we can. If you want to come by our office, if you want to apply online and handle everything electronically, we can accommodate anything. It's a busy time of year right now. People are trying to get stuff done. We can make it simple. And if you start the process right now, no payment on your new loan until next year, so a little break for the holidays.
So if I call you and say I want a loan, you can start out by basically having me fill out an application today, right now. I can do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, immediately.
And then after that, you can meet with me if I want, or I can come to your office. How long would it take from the time I fill out that application today?
You know, if you started today, we could close your loan in just under 3 weeks.
See, that's incredible to me. So, Ideal Home Loans, yes, for your next Ideal Home Loan, 303-867-7000. Take advantage of low rates, 303-867-7000.
This report is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts.
The sun is out. It's a nice wide open drive across the highways of the metro area. So if you're heading out to lunch, well, that's a great time to do it. I-25 looking good through the heart of the city. No delays from Thornton, North Glen through downtown into the Tech Center. A delay-free on I-70 as well, traveling from Pena Boulevard all the way out to Arvada and the Golden area. The drive along the I-70 corridor and the High Country wide open west of Genesee as well. Back in town,
Oh, God. Remember that Asian plane?
Here, turn that down for a bit.
Oh, yeah. That's real, isn't it? I want to hear that. Play it. Oh, that really happened, but they were fake names.
Yeah.
And she really read it. Like,
What on the news?
Because it was on teleprompter.
Did you hear that line what they're talking about?
That Asian airplane right now.
Let's talk about Pro Auto Care if you need your car fixed. Pro Auto Care is the place I recommend. In fact, not just for fixing your car, but for maintaining your car regularly. Pro Auto Care can be your car nanny. I say that because what they do is they keep track of your car according to the VIN, and they can let you know what it needs and when you need it. You get gentle reminders by email, and they will accommodate you at 2 locations, near Evans and I-25 or near Bowles and Santa Fe. And all you have to do is go see them. And in between each service, you get roadside assistance free. Remember that. Roadside assistance, that's thrown in. That's like being under their coverage all the time because it's 36,000 miles, and most of the time you're having your car looked at between that. 303-PRO-AUTO. 303-PRO-AUTO. The website is 303proauto.com.
If you're anywhere near my age and you've been an athletic, active, or just hard-working person, you might have a joint that's on a...
You know what that guy's wife's name was, don't you? Some young hoe.
So that woman, that newscaster, she could not figure out that was a joke.
No, she read it right from the news.
People got fired for that, didn't they?
3 producers.
They wrote that, but they didn't really mean to do that for the air, did they?
I don't think so. I think they fired them because they're so stupid.
And I have an amazing holiday.
They were just like going around and bullshitting.
I swear, though, it is the funniest damn thing I've heard forever.
Captain, something wrong.
Fluke could be too low.
Captain Something Wong. How did they ever let that out?
That's way too low.
Ho, we fuck. Big Bang, ouch.
Big Bang. Pow Bang. I love Pow Bang. I love that name.
And his wife, is it P-A-U? Was it P-A-U or?
P-A something like that. Yeah.
God, you're so juvenile. Fucking damn.
I thought it was Josh and me Pow Bang. And his kid Lamb.
That's what made me think of that damn.
Yes.
Bam Bam.
Captain Something. Don't you could those words even get out of you when you were live? Can you imagine being live? That comes up. Once you say Captain Something Wong, I mean, doesn't it come together?
That's why that person is an empty head. They weren't even thinking about what they're saying.
If it's on it's on the screen.
Yeah, but if it says, okay, you dumb, I mean, you can't just say everything.
I just can't believe that
crashed with the.
Where'd you find that, Mark?
And this lady here, he's got it here.
Here, watch. This actually has it.
I want to hear it.
Everything's on YouTube.
Promises this is the net result on Denver's talk station. 630 KNOW.
Very real. They actually did
Website? I gotta. What's the name on? It's a YouTube?
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Frank Duran, the real estate man. If you need help buying or selling real estate, you know I love Frank Duran. And I do it because he is simply the best at getting you the best value when you sell your home and also negotiating when you're buying a home. Use him for both sides of the transaction. You know, Frank never, ever holds you to a long-term contract. If you want out, he'd let you out because he knows that if people don't like him, he doesn't want to hold him there, and it never happens. Of course, people love him. We get rave reviews, 920-1622. 303-920-1622, Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Lynn has a question for Bonnie Shields, attorney at law. Go ahead, Lynn. What is your question?
And I was just wondering if that's true.
Yeah, is that an automatic thing unless otherwise proven?
It is absolutely not an
automatic?
An automatic thing, Tom.
It's not?
No. There was somebody actually trying to put that through the legislature, but that has not gone through. So, no, it's not. How old is she? How old's the daughter?
The baby?
The baby.
Is 8 months old.
Yeah, it's really, really highly unlikely at that age. I mean, these judges go to classes, and there's no...
It's highly. What's highly unlikely?
It's highly unlikely that dad would get 50% of the, or that either parent, I should say, the one parent. The studies show that the children of that age need to see the other parent with a lot of frequency, but not necessarily duration. So, like a 50-50 is not just a good idea for an 8-month-old
for
child.
an infant.
Right.
But it's not because it's a dad or a mom. It's
no, it
because
could be the dad that the child's with primarily.
Okay, and he got a lawyer. He's trying to get 50-50 custody, but he doesn't ever see her. And I'm just wondering if she.
Well, sir, now the mom does know. The mom does know that the dad is entitled to something, right?
Right. No, she doesn't want to take him away from her. She just wants, since he doesn't really have anything to do with the baby, she just wants primary custody so she can, so she can have the baby when she wakes up, and she just doesn't want to give him 50-50 custody because he's not really going to have anything to do with her. It's going to be his mother, and he got a lawyer, and because he has a lawyer, should she get a lawyer? Or
Of course. You should never try to fight this on your own.
Okay.
Why would you do that? I mean, that's
well,
just...
because she can't afford it. I'm going to have to take out a loan to...
The other thing she can do, she can start with calling legal aid and see if she qualifies, and then there are several agencies that do pro bono work.
We always hear about this. Does legal aid truly help anyone? I've never heard of anyone actually getting help from legal aid.
Yeah, they won't help her. They said she makes too much money.
Okay, well, if you make too much money, they're not going to help.
Now, where do they help with domestic situations? I thought they might help with, well, you have public defenders. What does legal aid do?
Well, they see, first of all, where your income is. No, they see where your income is, and if you qualify and you have to be indigent, then they'll refer you out to things like, I work for Metropolitan Volunteer Lawyers, or I volunteer for them. And so they'll send your case out to some agency like that, and that agency will then find an attorney that will help you. But you do have to be a pretty low income, and unfortunately, people that can't afford attorneys a lot of times don't qualify. Attorneys are expensive.
Yes.
So
okay.
I did not realize, though, that you could actually get help. But you can't get a legal aid and then sue someone for custody, right? Is it only to defend yourself, or is it...
No, you can start out a whole custody case.
You can start a case.
With an attorney. Legal aid...
And what about divorce? Can you get legal aid for...
You bet, yeah. The only way legal aid gets involved is they just check to make sure you qualify. And then they refer out to the different agencies that actually have attorneys.
Would legal aid help in other cases, like a civil case, if you slipped in? Well, that would be personal injury as a contingency anyway. But let's say some other kind of case where you're suing.
I'm not sure if they can help you with...
Or if you're sued.
Yeah, I don't know if they can help you with other, like, bankruptcy attorneys or things like that. But they absolutely refer out to agencies if you qualify, and you can get attorneys.
For domestic attorneys.
Right, and usually it's for the first run at a case. If your case is over and done and then you want to bring something up, that's harder to get help for.
I see. All right, thank you very much. Let's talk to Greg. Greg, go ahead. What's happening?
With all the talk about the problems with privatizing Social Security, I don't see a real difference between having privatized Social Security and having a pension plan. Because if you have a pension plan, the pension invests the money in assets and creates income. And if you had privatized Social Security, would it be the same exact thing?
So, Greg, when you say all the talk about privatizing Social Security, I wish there was truly consideration for that, but that's all it is talk.
That's all I've heard. Yeah,
and the reason, I'll tell you one of the biggest reasons they won't do it is because the fund is owed so much money right now from the government. The government keeps borrowing from it. So you would have to transfer those funds into that you would have to give credit to people who've paid in so they can transfer to private vendors, right? Because you can't start from ground zero. You have to go retroactive. I mean, if I paid in over my lifetime a certain amount of dollars, then I would want those dollars transferred. And I see it working. If they took the amount of money that I am paying in Social Security, if I took that money and I gave it to a private investment advisor, I would be wealthy beyond compare from just what I'm paying into Social Security. If I could direct that where I wanted it, I think the only problem with that is you would have a lot of scammers out there trying to get a hold of the money. So you would have to approve, let's say, a handful of private investment firms that are certified by the government, and then go for it. Mark, don't you think you would be wealthy if you could have that money to invest?
Yeah, but here's the problem. That's not, they're not just talking about you and I. How about the people that decide, well, I want to invest it myself? Are they allowed to do that?
No, okay. Of course not.
Then what happens if it does go down and there is no money?
Well, that would be terrible.
Then what happens? How do these people live?
Well, there are...
Do they get Social Security still?
Well, Mark, there are investments that you can be made that clip the downside, that don't allow for losses. There are things you can do. There are annuities.
Yeah,
and
there's
things.
Mattresses. I know.
Not mattresses.
There is
Mark.
different things that there can be no loss.
There are a lot of investments that are safe. I'm not talking about day trading, Mark.
Yeah.
But you're right. If truly people lost their money,
then what?
God, well,
that's I think the biggest argument is that.
Yeah, but Greg, when you hear about privatization, you're talking about pension funds and more of the solid investing. You're not talking about day trading or even trading.
There's people that can pick what they invest in inside their pensions too. So I mean, I don't know where you're getting that information.
Well, okay, but there are investment products that guarantee a rate of return.
No, I'm saying he said that basically inside of a pension, your boss or the ownership is depending on what to invest in. That's not always true.
No, you can self-direct a lot of pensions.
That's right.
You have an advisor.
Can I ask Bonnie a question?
Yeah. By the way, what do you think about privatizing Social Security, Greg? I wanted to know your...
My thought is if you had controls in place like a pension plan where you had options within it, but you had safe options, that it would be... I agree with you, Tom. I did the math once and I actually wrote a letter to the senator. I said if I had this much of what I put into Social Security and put it in a relatively stable small return,
just a very small return, you'd have a ton of money.
2 or 3%.
Yeah,
return.
you would just with that, if they did tax-free earnings on Social Security, and we only made 4%, which most everyone can guarantee without loss, most annuities, that you would have so much more money. It would be unbelievable.
We need to have that life insurance guy in, that overfunding of life insurance, because a safe way at 4% is that.
Right.
If really that's what you're looking for.
Now, Bonnie, and that would give everyone a burial fund, too. Do you realize that?
Easily.
You would have Social Security and a guaranteed death benefit if everyone turned
We got to get him booked in.
So, now, Bonnie, what's the question for Bonnie, Greg?
Well, Bonnie, this probably, I'm not sure if this is sort of like a divorce type question, but my grandson, my daughter was living with her fiance. They had a boy together. He drowned, and he was brought back. He was revived, and he lives with severe cerebral palsy, requires 24-hour care. He left her. Now, he claims that he doesn't have to pay child support because the grandson gets Social Security disability.
That's not accurate.
I didn't think it was, but I wanted to check.
How old's the child now?
4 years old. He was 2 when it happened.
Here's something else: is if there's a disability that occurs before the child is age 19, which is when child support goes away, that child support can go forever.
Oh, good news.
But you need to ask for it. You have to have it established.
Say that again about child support, Bonnie.
Okay, so if you have a child that becomes disabled before the age of 19 when the child support would go away, the child support can continue on into adulthood.
Wow.
This is assuming one of the parents is caring for this child. If this child is out on their own and existing on government help and that, then that's not going to be there. But
he'll never get to that point. He's too far brain damaged for that.
Right. So absolutely.
Okay.
There's child support available.
Yeah. So I hope that answered your question. If you know a drug addict of any kind of addiction, any kind of problem with addiction, I want to direct you to the Raleigh House. And there's a reason for that. The Raleigh House has established a number where their caring and loving staff will answer any questions you have about addiction treatment. So, if you have a friend, a neighbor, a relative, a loved one, and you want to know how to approach them, the Raleigh House can give you tips and hints. If there is someone in your life that you'd like to get into treatment, they can help you with suggestions. They can answer any questions you may have on insurance, on payment, on the types of program. The Raleigh House has all evidence-based treatments designed to help reduce substance abuse. But they will answer questions about any form of treatment you've heard about, that you want to know about, and there is no obligation for this service. Please call them, or conference maybe, you and the family, call in, 720-893-5559. The Raleigh House is locally owned and operated. They have multiple locations, 720-893-5559.
From the L&M.
They got out of those ones.
No, I know that.
They got out of all the businesses that took out, media not so much.
I'm just saying, I think
Then they got a lot of things.
has any analyst turned around on it? Oh, gosh.
So, this is how badly run it was.
That's how badly run it was.
Yeah. The CEO when he flew on his private jet,
Yeah, when I'm gonna
he had
set up
another
there,
empty
it's-
jet
let's
flying
say
behind
that,
it. Why? Just, I
it's-
guess,
it's
just
the
in case
parent
that,
child,
I don't know, but it's an empty jet
average means
that flew behind
your
him.
child support obligation.
And so there's two, every time he
That's
went
not
up-
like some wives' tale. That's
No, well, I read it on there, and the board said, hey, we never knew about this.
When you calculate child support, you put in
God,
mom's
I'd
income,
go
dad's
off the
income.
hook. I mean, no one does
There's
that.
another number
Well,
you
that's
put
not
in
true.
there.
There's one
One
person
number
that has
put
to
in
do
there is
that.
that the child, there's money that's being received.
Newman.
Money from the government.
No,
That goes in there. And so that, because
I
uses mom's needs.
I said, your dad wants to know what makes it official. Is it on the school calendar?
Where
Official senior district.
Oh, official.
He says, I don't know what makes it official, but that's what our English teacher told us. I could email her and confirm you if you want.
Oh,
I
yes.
said, sure. I said, CC me in the email.
I know, almost every school has an
Official.
Well, the teachers do kind of make it, but you're right, it's not
Like
official.
Miles is going to ditch tomorrow and then tell us sometime in May is really the official one. That's what would happen.
No, that'll be the unofficial.
So that may be the end of his child support.
Geez, look, there's one credit source that's by him. Okay.
On the other hand, if he's making $500,000 a year, that's not the end of his child support.
Are they down today?
Yeah.
We got a 3-day chart.
I don't know if
They're going to be in the teens. Where's the bottom, man? Where's the bottom?
The really good finished
So you see it, I mean, down at 19, but that was like the biggest problem out there.
Oh, I know. Well, when Tom and him were talking about investments, my uncle back then worked for GE. If you worked for GE, all your money was in GE. So, I mean, they're okay. So, but back then, 50s and 60s, GE was probably the best stock to own. And now they're shit.
And opening in
Oh, my
Because they didn't keep up with it. And they let the CEO, it's the board. That's the bad thing about the chairman, the boards and the CEO. A lot of times the CEO is chairman of the board.
Yeah.
So they're not watching out for it.
Some are, yeah.
I think that should be legal in public companies.
What you're having.
What happened here?
I imagine that was 2000.
People couldn't afford a dishwasher. That's what the hell happened there.
So all the stock market, that's a big tank, right? Because they,
Yeah.
everything is
Tell me again when.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. You want to straighten something up, Bonnie, you said? Before we were talking about child support. What was it that you wanted to clarify?
Sure, Tom. Well, when child support's calculated, it's calculated on the parents' incomes and some other figures, like if somebody's spending money on health insurance for the child. If the child has money coming in every month that one of the parents is receiving for like Social Security, that also goes on the worksheet. So that's going to reduce whoever, let's say mom has a child, it's going to reduce her need. So it would change that child support.
It would change it a bit, right.
Right, and there's instances if a person's income is low enough, say father's the one paying child support, that maybe there wouldn't be one because of the amount the child's receiving.
But it's not because of Social Security per se, it's
Right.
because of the numbers being calculated.
Exactly.
It's all done on a formula.
If one was modified, let's say you had kids by multiple husbands or ex-husbands, if one gets modified and the woman's getting more money from one, can the other one say now she's getting more money from the first husband, I got to pay her less?
No, it's isolated.
No, but what's
per child. That's weird, I
what's
think.
really, I think, awful
That's a
is
great
if
point.
you have child support, you get married and divorced and you're paying child support, and your ex-wife goes out and has 14 more children, that affects your child support. It actually gives her a credit for children. It used to be only...
Now, wait a minute. Hold on a second.
How can
Hold on. So if a woman has more... If I have children, other children in a second marriage, it can reduce my child support to my first marriage?
Yes, it can.
Well, that doesn't seem fair.
And if your ex-spouse has more children, it can affect the child support you owe her.
I could actually pay more because she had more children.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Bonnie, why do you...
If they're not your kids, you divorce a woman, you had one child with that woman, you're paying for that child, and she has 3 other kids. That reduces her disposable income, and therefore I have to kick in more money because she had 2 additional kids?
Yes.
I don't like what you're saying.
I don't like what I'm saying either. And the law, it used to be it only counted for kids that existed before your children with that. If somebody went on to have more kids, it didn't affect anything, and that changed a few years ago.
What panel of judges came up with this crap?
It doesn't. It gives the person with the additional or that has another child, it gives them a slight credit for having another child to support.
Well, it gives them a credit because they have to support those kids. So what about this, though, what Mark is saying? What if those other kids are being paid for by the dad? She has other kids, but she has a husband, too. I mean, doesn't that husband, why does she get credit? Because of her share of that child support?
Right. So
okay, what if she is getting child support, as Mark asked? Really a lot of child support because that husband is wealthy. So she on one child is getting $3,000 a month. One child. Tell me, doesn't that count toward her numbers when the other guy is calculating child support?
it doesn't. There's no place on the formula to put in how much support.
But yet, if she has more kids, you got to pay more.
Right.
Where's this common sense?
You have to pay more, and if she gets support from each one. And I say she, it could be he, too.
Of course it could.
It goes both ways. This is ridiculous, but I don't know. How else do you do it? How else do you, it's difficult to begin with.
There's a line that says number of children that, if a person has a number of children that they also have a financial responsibility for, there's a credit on the worksheet for that.
What if she marries someone who has children?
No.
Okay.
See, this is the reason Suzanne and I have stayed together so long.
Ha.
Child support?
I refuse to go through this hell.
303-713-TALK. Now listen, Rob has a divorce and child custody situation. Go ahead, Rob.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
Good, sir. What is your situation?
I have been trying to see my daughters for 4.5 years.
Well, wait a minute.
And I'm gonna try to summarize this. I'm over $70,000 in debt to attorneys.
Well, this doesn't sound right.
And I don't want to blame just attorneys.
But tell me how it all started. You got divorced, and what did the parenting plan say in the divorce decree? Let's go right back to that.
All right, I got divorced in September of 2012.
Okay,
and there was an MOU and a parenting stipulated parenting time.
And what was the parenting time?
I saw my 3 kids for dinner once a week and every other weekend.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, come the following year in 2013 in April, my ex-spouse just stopped bringing the kids and said she wasn't bringing them anymore.
Well, can you go pick them up?
No, I can't come on her property.
Wait,
she can't come
so
on
she
mine.
said, I'm no longer going to take the kids to you.
Correct.
So that should be a simple motion.
No court order, no nothing.
Well, that should be a simple motion to enforce the child plan, right, Bonnie?
There's a motion. Go ahead.
I got to court, and this is what happened. I called the sheriff's department. They came out. They couldn't help me.
See, when people call, I don't know why people waste time calling sheriffs and police and everyone else. I want to ask you this. Did you file a motion to enforce the parenting plan? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
And what happened to that motion? That's all I care about. I don't want to hear about the other misery because it's not pertinent. What happened to that motion?
In December of 2013, our district judge in El Paso County ordered family reunification. And
what does that mean?
8 things. We have to go to a therapist because he said I've been away from them too long.
So the fact that she was keeping them away, you had to go back. Okay, then what did you do?
So they assigned a family reunification therapist who only saw me and the girls once in 5 months.
And then what?
It was supposed. So I had to go back and motion the court to terminate her and find another counselor.
Got it. And then what?
So we found another therapist, and the mother missed about 7 appointments and was not going to weekly therapy. Was just, I guess, playing the time clock and not taking the kids to therapy.
So basically, by keeping the kids from you. By keeping the kids from you, she made it necessary for you to go to reunification classes and then kept them from that.
Correct.
So where's it at now?
And the judge scolded her. They didn't do anything about it.
So where is it right now? Where does your visitation stand right now?
Now they're going. Now she's taking me back to court to say she wants the kids 100%. My oldest one left. He graduated and went to college. I have a great relationship with him.
Okay,
no
good.
But my two daughters, when we were in therapy, all kinds of just manipulation came out, and they would say things. Just for example, you didn't show up at my orchestra concert because Mom said you didn't care. I said, I didn't even know you had an orchestra concert.
So have you filed a motion for contempt for her disobeying a court order?
I did. And we went to mediation 4 times.
Okay.
Every time at mediation, they'd say, all right, she's going to comply, she's going to do this. It doesn't happen. Finally, I go, but when you go to contempt,
Can't go to contempt. Right.
You go before a magistrate and not a judge in the district court. It's just been a whirlwind.
So what did the magistrate do at your contempt hearing?
They didn't find her in contempt. They think because it's under reunification that she doesn't have to tell me anything. And I'm sitting there going, then why in the world would I be doing reunification if you don't want me to go to their games, their orchestra?
I'm talking about her not showing up for the therapy appointments. Did the judge say that was okay for her not to show up for the therapy appointments?
They didn't do anything to her. We said I went to court and I showed the judge she's not even showing up at reunification. They didn't find anything wrong with her. She's an occupational therapist in a school district.
But she is not complying to anything. So she is basically keeping the kids from you. So you do not have visitation right now.
I haven't seen my girls since they were 10 and 12. They are now going to be 18, and the other one's going to be 16. And the oldest one, I have not seen her 1 year in any of her high school years. Homecoming, prom.
This is terrible. And usually I hear divorce stories and I don't believe them, but this is terrible. By delaying visitation, she purposely made it more difficult for you to get back into the groove, and then kept making it difficult, knowing that if she stalled, she basically robbed you of their childhood.
Agreed, 100%. I am now going back to court because to believe it or not, I have court tomorrow, and I don't even have the money to pay for anything.
Well, I'm not sure.
What are you going to court for tomorrow? What's tomorrow's hearing?
What's tomorrow's hearing?
She wants the kids. She wants them. She wants the court orders turned 100%. The kids go to her. The last two, the two young ones. The older ones in.
How old are the young ones right now?
Have you been paying child support?
Yes.
How old are the young ones? How old are they?
17 and 15.
Do they like you?
Everything was perfect till where I was alienated. Now they show up. They were showing up in reunification thinking I didn't care anymore.
Okay, we have to take this break. This is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. Rocky's Auto, 63rd and Federal. Used cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans. And the magic word at Rocky's is selection. Man, do you have selection and variety. And then if you want to go forward, you have variety in financing. Rocky's Autos. Rocky's, 63rd and Federal, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8. If you're looking for a used car, truck, SUV, or van, that's the place to get it. And you will get not only great deals, but great deals on financing because you have 40 lenders to choose from.
This report is brought to you by Farmers.
I had to say that because you weren't seeing my emotions. I had to because it was coming over the microphone. You can't talk. You can't talk at all. Yeah, you can't talk. That's what this is all about. You got to be silent. You can whisper 1 or 2 words, but not full blown.
I'll bet you anything that guy owes child support.
It wouldn't matter. It doesn't affect child.
It doesn't affect it, but I think what happened is I think he didn't keep following up. I just don't believe the 4-year thing.
Oh, I don't either.
A year and a half, I believe that one. But I think he probably didn't have the money for an attorney, and he'd wait long periods of time before he did anything.
And she's pissed because he owes him child support.
But that shouldn't affect it. She's not going to get 100%. Nobody gets that unless the other parent is like,
yeah, but she purposely made this so this guy is a deadbeat. I mean, first of all,
So says he. Right?
Yeah. But what is reunification? So you need to tell me if you cause a delay in you seeing your kids, did he wait too long to file a motion maybe? Because
probably he waited probably far too long to file it. Even then though, if you're away for 6 months by the time you get to court, court will order that. They should have ordered mom to.
And what is a reunification?
If you sit in a therapist's office and discuss why the heck you haven't seen your kid,
and
so
you do it
these
with
things with the kids there, so you can tell them it's not because I didn't love you, it's not because of this or that.
Pardon me, did you get Pal's cat crash report?
Yeah, but I can't.
I have to like zoom in on
Yeah,
it.
I can't interpret it live on the air. I just want to know basically.
And a flash drive loaded with
Very hard to
You know
read.
what to me? What? The accident report. Oh yeah, I
don't
read those all
see-
the time. Oh gosh, yeah, let me right away.
There's no diagram.
So Mom, she was a therapist at a school, so she kind of knows the tricks of the trade too, correct?
She's just talking about
Maybe I
damage.
think she's
Where's the narrative?
trying
There's
to
no
piece it out.
narrative
It's
either. Oh,
working
anyway.
really well, and I think
Okay.
probably
Vehicle
You know, you guys are,
one northbound.
you're not thinking that just possibly
No, I
this
know what
guy's
you're
a
saying.
deadbeat dad who didn't show up for
I
a year,
know
and now
what
it's
you're
too
saying.
late.
I understand. All I'm saying, as a person who knows the system, she said she was a therapist at school. She probably knows how to do this all the time.
And one, and
I
then
can't believe
vehicles
those
2
parents
and 3
use kids
were
like
slowing
that.
for traffic. One passed vehicle 2.
Oh my God, the kid was scared
What the
to
parents
No, I know you
have
did,
is
but
standard reunification
Passed
therapy.
2, right?
That should
Okay.
always follow the
Passed
other
2
parent,
on the
but
right
if they don't have the
side.
money for it,
On the right
they have
side.
to tell you, I'm really
Okay,
sorry,
that's
but
the wrong
you have to
side.
get the
And
therapy.
change lanes back
And
to
the
the left
therapist only
lane
found
due
once
to
in
police presence
7
in
months,
the right
5 months.
lane.
Why did he
One
work
and
with
three
that?
stopped.
Why did he wait 5 months before he
1
did
and 3
something?
stopped in the left lane.
I think
You're missing a whole bunch of funny.
Okay.
I sent it to you. It comes from Troubleshooter Investigator,
Colliding
not
with
me.
got
it right here.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
vehicle
It's
2
an
hit.
attachment.
Vehicle 2 continued north and collided with the rear of vehicle 3. So vehicle 2 is the one that did it. Vehicle 1 then flipped.
What do you mean?
He thinks Facebook's going to.
Oh, Facebook's going to kill it today, but I don't know how much is already built in or not built in. You know what I mean?
And wait, is he vehicle 1 fled the scene?
They do
It
report
said
today.
vehicle 1 fled the scene. And he is vehicle 1, isn't he?
Vehicle was
I've
always
looked
the
at it
bad
like 10
guy.
times today.
Okay, okay. I got it.
170 what?
179, well, 180.
180.
That's him.
It's been floating there all day. Look,
That ain't good.
he blew it. That's all it's moved,
Vehicle
right?
1, careless driving.
Tom Martino here. I got that accident report, by the way. And Pal, listen, according to this accident report, your son was following 2 cars. He went out into the right lane to pass. He was pissed off because, this is what I'm saying, he was probably ticked off that they're going slow in the fast lane. He goes around to the slow lane, passes one of the cars and gets in between them, okay? And then when he gets in between them, the other car goes to pass them again. And when he comes out, the other car, number 2, hits both of the cars, your son's and the other car. So, I'm not saying your son caused the accident, by the way. I'm saying that that's what happened. Your son passed vehicle number 2 and got between 2 and 3. Then vehicle number 2 was in the rear, and then he did the same move to try to get back in between, but instead hit both of the cars. Vehicle number 2 was at fault, clearly, but it says vehicle number 1 fled the scene. Your son left the scene of the accident.
No, actually, my son is number 3, the vehicle number 3.
Oh. Okay.
And vehicle number 1 left the scene.
Okay, then your son was totally innocent here. He was at the front of the pack the whole time, and vehicle 1 and 2 were playing back and forth. And then
yes, that's correct.
And number 2 hit your son. Yeah, vehicle number 2 is at fault. This accident report could easily, except that I thought number 1. I'm sorry.
Hey, Tom.
I thought number 1. What is your last name is Bang, right? We made fun of that. Pow Bang. So vehicle number 1 is what? Is it Bang or not?
1 is Johnson, and number 2 is Vang, also Vang.
So 2 and 3 have the same last name.
How
Wait a minute.
I have never in my life heard of a bang before.
Are they related to you?
We got 2 bangs in one accident.
Yes, number two and my son, they're kind of friends. They go out together, but number 1 leave the scene, so he probably just pointed to the car who leave the scene. Well, my
Hold
son
on.
don't know who hit.
Does your son, wait, this guy that's your son's friend is also named Bang?
Yes, Matthew Van, yes.
Is Bang a common name? Is it V or B?
It's he.
Are they both, did your son have the same last name as his friend?
Yes.
Okay, so is that a common name? Where are you from, pal?
Laos.
Is Bang a common name in Laos? It's weird that his friend would have the same name unless it's common.
Bang is just a last name for the, many people.
No, I understand.
Like Smith or something.
Okay, I understand. All right, so it's clear here that your son, so vehicle number 1 left the scene of the accident. Is that right? And vehicle number 1 was your son's friend?
No, 1 is somebody they don't know.
1 is somebody they don't know. Okay.
Yeah, 2 and 3 they know each other, and my son is on 3.
Okay. And vehicle 1 left. Did they ever find vehicle 1?
Yeah, the police found him in the morning next day, and the police even called to let us know that they found him.
Okay. All right. Listen, here's the thing. I think you have a case to do the small claims court against vehicle number 3. I mean, number 2. Vehicle number 2. And vehicle number 2, according to this, I'm trying to do this live on the air. Vehicle number 2, it says here's your friend. I don't understand what you're saying, bro. Vehicle number 2 is your friend, and your friend caused the accident. According to this report, if vehicle number 2 caused the accident, that was driven by Matthew. Isn't Matthew your son's friend?
Yeah.
Well, your friend caused the accident. You're going to have to sue him in small claims court.
Yeah, they have insurance. That's the thing. Matthew have the insurance.
But his insurance is turning it down, pal. So you have to sue him personally in small claims court for running into your son's car. And you use this police report as the evidence. That's what you do. And it's just what you have to do. And then he has to complain to his insurance company to get action. Wow, that was a lot about an accident. We're out of time, so I just want to remind you, referralist.com for sure. For help, information, and referrals, you can always call 303-MARTINO, and BonnieShieldsLaw.com. Bonnie Shields is on my referral list as well.
Why are you against people that talk about climate change?
Ross Kaminsky.
Oh my gosh. 1, because almost none of you knows what you're talking about. 2, because none of you talk about the unintended effects of what you...
SoftBank is the one that collided with both cars.
Did they get a ticket though?
Well, I
don't know, but they just collided with both cars.
So damn confusing.
I mean, vehicle 1 gets careless driving.
Oh, by the way, you're screwed on Netflix and House of Cards. I know. They're not doing season 6 now. They suspended even the filming.
So we're never going to know what happened. God damn. The story will never be told. They're really not.
Maybe I can get you a date with Kevin Spacey and you can find out where it was going.
So you seem to tell me they're never going to do it.
Look, they halted the fucking stock.
I assume they're going to get another actor to replace him.
It's such a good show, Mark.
I've never watched it.
Oh, it's good.
You think they'll yank it, depending on what they find out?
House of Cards, it's great. House of Cards.
Tom, vehicle 2 didn't even get a ticket. Vehicle 1 was ticketed.
I almost
Vehicle 2
why did vehicle 2 is the one that
dropped so
got
quick they stopped it?
I don't know. I'm having trouble following that explanation.
No,
but 1 got the
dropped like a
citation,
rock.
2 did not get
Where
one.
do you see it dropping, right?
Because it'd be conceivable, if he caused the accident, he'd have gotten some citation.
Oh.
He would have to.
Right, vehicle 1 was the first one to pass and got into
see
vehicle 2.
the deal.
And then vehicle 2 attempted to do the same thing and hit both cars. So, by the way, traffic infractions are not indicative of liability.
Per year, it should be a
You know
picture.
that.
Right.
It really helps.
Maybe they're looking, vehicle one, cut in there.
Deal was announced here. It was one of those deals they were talking so
You mean the
much.
first time?
It was kind of built in.
The two chose to do the same thing.
Well, he might have been going out to miss him. He may have cut in between them.
And by the way, the name is not Bang. It's Bang with a V.
I know, it's,
And there's two of them.
That's so.
I thought it was Bang. Bang.
it sounds that way.
What is the article?